points behind Celtic. St Mirren are 7 behind and still unbeaten. What an afternoon we have us in store. Aberdeen St Johnstone to come at 3. Coming up right now here on Sports and on BBC Radio Scotland. Full live commentary, St Mirren against Rangers with Neil McCann, Stephen Thompson and Liam McLeod.
Yeah, the strains of man Terry Rafferty in the background as St Mirren and Rangers prepare to go head to head here. Saints having made their best start to a top division season for 75 years, going back to 1948. It's only the 3rd time in the club's top division history that they've not lost at least one of their opening 7 games, having also been unbeaten in 68-69 and back in 07-08, 1907-08 that is. And what an opportunity they have to put some daylight between themselves and Rangers today. Saints win, it's a 6-point gap between these two. Rangers, of course, would be 10 adrift of Celtic as St Mirren Park prepares to remember Frank McDougall, who's being remembered today. Joined St Mirren from Clydebank in 1979. 64 goals in 169 appearances for the Paisley Buddies before Alec Ferguson took him to Aberdeen, where he had a glittering couple of seasons in the Dons first team, and he will be remembered after his recent death. A legend, particularly at St Mirren and at Aberdeen. A minute's applause for Frank McDougall. Incredible to think that it was a record transfer fee between Scottish clubs when St Mirren signed Frank McDougall from Clydebank in '79, and he was remembered there. Poignant tribute to Frank McDougall. Just about time for kick-off here, the first of the 2 matches in the Premiership. Starts here in Paisley. Rangers will kick off. Blue shirts, white shorts, black socks with the red tops. St Mirren in their traditional black and white stripes. Rangers kick off going right to left as we watch from the back of the main stand. It's a murky old day in Renfrewshire, but not the torrential rain that we saw in this part of the world yesterday, as John Souttar, one of 4 changes to the side, beaten by Aris Limassol. Rangers eager to try and get this season kick-started. St Mirren off the back of the draw at Kilmarnock last week. That's not back by Kevin Backus to his goalkeeper. Zach Hemming blasting it forward down the middle of the pitch, looking for a Lasagna. It's won by Kilty's header. It's picked up by McMenamin, who's been so good for St Mirren, as so many have been in the infancy of this season. McMenamin slips on the far side. It will be a slick surface. He recovers, bounces back up, wins it back. Now it's Kilty to McMenamin. His cross is cut out by Tavernier, but the scraps will be picked up by Scott Tanzer, who's just signed that new contract to extend his stay here, but he loses out to Cifuentes, who rolls it forward to Zach Lovelace, making his first start for the club, the 17-year-old, and he wins a free kick over on the far side. So a couple of notes from the team news then. Lovelace first start for him. Mark O'Hara making his 50th appearance today for St Mirren, the skipper and the linchpin in the middle of that St Mirren midfield, a man that Neil McCann knows very well indeed.
Yeah, I love the big fella. You could tell Mark O'Hara to play anywhere, Liam, absolutely anywhere, and he'll give you a 7 out of 10 performance, guaranteed. But I think at St Mirren he's found a real good home in the centre of that pitch. Goal threat, but his power and his leadership qualities are excellent.
There's James Tavernier bombing down the right-hand side. Now Lovelace, level with the St Mirren penalty spot, looking for Tavernier with a low ball, drops Rascan's way. Can't quite get any purchase on the shot, and Richard Taylor's able to help bundle it clear. It's helped on its way by McMenamin before Cifuentes knocks it back forward to Rascan, pinched off him by Bacchus. He picked up though by Sima, Out wide left, the overlapping Barisic. First time left foot cross. Comes in, headed away by Taylor. Cifuentes takes over at the edge of the D and rolls it back to Lundstrom. Out wide left for Barisic. Level with the edge of the D, but the flag's up for offside over there on the far side and the North Bank side of the stadium, if you like. And that will be a free kick to St Mirren. Stephen Thompson.
Yeah, I mean, I've already seen 3-4 players slipping on the surface. Obviously, we had an outrageous amount of rain yesterday. It's a very, very greasy, slippery surface out there.
It's quite firm underfoot as well, Steve.
It is. It's definitely a day for the studs instead of the moldies, but I don't know about you, I never liked wearing studs, regardless of the weather.
I always did. That was my match boots for studs.
Was it?
Yep.
Saints' last victory over Rangers was the League Cup quarters in December 2020, but as Tomo was saying pre-match, they're without a league win over Rangers in the top flight since Christmas Eve 2011. As St Mirren come forward, the cross from the left, Rangers get it half away, up into the air. Ryan Strain to the 18-yard line. Bacchus heads it back towards the penalty spot. Suter heads clear. O'Hara's cushion header's picked up by Rangers, but they've got it back in double quick time. Have St Mirren with Scott Tanser, who rolls it back to Alex Gogic, who's been so solid this season.
You can see, Liam, the trouble that St Mirren caused teams and why. With that front three, Kilty dragged Tavernier right in, he gets sucked in, and there was Tanser, who's shown it. He's got so much impetus to get forward. But
Signed a new deal this week as well.
Has he?
Yeah. Great bit of business for St Mirren. He's been really good.
He's been brilliant. But him and Strain, Steve, as you said, the ammunition they put into the box, like Barisic and Tavernier, is exceptional. But because of the front three St Mirren have, they're really affecting Rangers' back four, because they're starting wide, they're coming narrow. That's dragging the full-backs in, and it's giving that space for those wide players of St Mirren to get round on the outside.
Well, that attack comes to an end. Strain sliced his cross, goes behind, goal kick. Rangers have it with Goldson, looking to avoid a third successive defeat. Lost to Aberdeen and Aris Limassol in the last week. Lovelace picks up wide in the right, drives down to the corner flag. The cross comes in and it's put behind for the corner by Strain. Didn't know what was going on behind him. Adala Sima was in that vicinity, and it's behind for the first Rangers corner of the afternoon. Tavernier's already on his way out to take 4.5 goalless minutes in Paisley.
Yeah, positive play from Lovelace there down the right hand side, whipping in a really decent early ball, and Strain did the right thing. You can't take any chances, especially with the surface the way it is. Just turns it round for the corner kick.
Stephen Davis and Alec Gray in their technical area discussing this corner. Tavernier's taking it short to Cifuentes, level with the penalty spot, back to Barisic, controls with the undersole, passes it back to Tavernier. First time cross comes in, headed away by Taylor. He's come back into the side for Charles Dunn this afternoon. 2 Saints changes, 4 for Rangers. And the team that started in Cyprus on Thursday. Long ball to the edge of the St Mirren box is cleared, and there's a foul as well on Marcus Fraser, and that will be a free kick to St Mirren just at the edge of their own box. That takes that little bit of Rangers pressure off the St Mirren rear guards. And another terrific crowd inside St Mirren Park this afternoon. The Saints supporters are buying into what Stephen Robinson's doing here, and it's been a wonderful start to the campaign, with the exception of the League Cup exit at Easter Road. It really has been the stuff of dreams at times. I was here at the end of August when St Mirren drew with Aberdeen. One of the best St Mirren performances that I've seen that afternoon. Somehow they didn't win that match. As McMenamin picks up on the near side, twisting and turning against Barisic, level with the Rangers 6-yard line. He's got the ball in as well, but Butland clutches on in his 6-yard line, and it remains Saints 0, Rangers 0.
McMenamin's been a great signing, he really has. So positive, always looks to get his crosses into the box. I've been really impressed with him so far.
He was desperate to sign him. Was Stephen Robinson, as Tavernier picks up on the right, swinging from one end to the other. In comes the cross. The header goes behind for a Rangers corner. I think, though, Ryan Strain felt he was fouled on the 18-yard line there, but it is going to be a corner as an orthodox header went behind the byline.
Tell you what, 8-9 minutes into the game, we've seen some deliveries already in this match. You can see that we've spoken about a wee bit of touching on the shape and how both teams can exploit the other, and so far it's proved to be the case, getting into those channels several times each team.
Yeah, and you've added 3 minutes onto the game as well, which is good.
How have I done that? Oh, there was a slow start, that's right. Sorry, Stevie. Sorry, there's a wee bit of respect shown to someone. Thanks for digging me out there.
Going to be a corner on the far side for Rangers, to be taken by Barisic. Swings it in, it's nodded away by Gogic towards the 18-yard line, breaks to Cifuentes, leaves it for Lundstrom, but Nick Walsh, who's the referee, has blown his whistle. I'm not sure if he spotted a handball on the 18-yard line there, but nonetheless it's going to be a St Mirren free kick. Nick Walsh, the man in the middle, he was in Europa League action on Thursday, did Toulouse against Lask Linz. 1-0 win for the hosts in France. 8 yellow cards were shown, and it's going to be, I think, a free kick eventually to St Mirren. The Rangers supporters have unveiled a banner which is having a real go at the players. Heartless, passionless, leaderless, not fit to wear our colours, say the Rangers supporters. 7.5 minutes in, 0-0 here, and clearly it is not a happy camp.
Well, if the Rangers fans sometimes let themselves be known by their voice, and you can block that out as a professional sometimes on the pitch, but I mean, if you catch that with your eyes, that's going to resonate a wee bit.
Rangers in possession with Suter. Difficult mentally for the Rangers players to see that kind of damning indictment coming from the stands as Rangers come forward. Right foot ball towards the edge of the box for Roof. Breaks McMenamin's way though, and he can usher it back to Strain on the near side, and he was back to Hemming, the goalkeeper, who clears only as far as Lundstrom though. Raskan back to John Lundstrom, out to Barisic. Left hand side, bends a really decent ball in. Gogic gets the touch, and it comes back to Hemming, who holds on. 0-0.
He's been good for St Mirren, Stevie, hasn't he? Gogic going into that centre
brilliant
position of the three.
He really has. I mean, all the players deserve an awful lot of credit for the way that the team has started the league campaign this year, but Gogic has been outstanding.
Scotland supporters will be hoping he's outstanding this day next week. Cyprus take on Norway, and I say this day next week, it's Thursday, isn't it? Thursday night, the same time Scotland are playing Spain. This time next week Norway are in Oslo hosting the Spanish, and if those results go Scotland's way, it will be Euro 2024 for the national team ahead of this international window. Raskan's brought down right in the centre circle. Free kick to Rangers inside the St Mirren half.
Yeah, it was kind of back. He's just a wee bit late with the challenge. Didn't see too much in it. Nick Walsh is going to bring him over for a wee chat here.
Yeah, and Bacchus, another important cog in this St Mirren side.
Yeah, it was a clear foul, but I mean, I don't think it's no yellow card. I think that's probably just about right. Raskin's boot came off during the challenge.
St Mirren's last league winner was talking about Christmas Eve 2011. Aaron Moy and Paul McGowan scored in a 2-1 victory. Stephen Thompson was wearing the number 9 that day.
Yeah. Stephen Davis was playing for Rangers.
Yeah. McCulloch and Goyan sent off that day.
That's right.
As Tavernier comes down the right, wins the corner off Tanzer. Actually, Neil's been a relatively bright start by Rangers.
I was just about to say that, Liam. I think Rangers have started well. Their fullbacks are actually starting shallow. They're starting deep, and it's given St Mirren a bit of problems, because then when they would go and engage, Lovelace is bending, runs in, SMiSA's making himself available. They're actually playing just outside the three centre-backs, the wide players of St Mirren, so in between the wing-backs, and it's given them a bit of bother.
Short corner taken by Barisic to Cifuentes, back to Barisic, bending the ball into the box, headed away towards the edge of the area. Strain helping it on its way, and now McMenamin just nicks in ahead of Lundstrom and driving out to this near side. Rangers flooding back, Saints flooding forward. It's their number 10 McMenamin who moves back to Strain. Rangers funnel back well there and closed down all kinds of options that looked as though we're going to come McMenamin's way there when he immediately managed to nick it away.
He's got to play the channel. He's got to play the channel ball. Olusana had made a decent enough run into the channel. We know his pace is incredible. Just play it in. Instead he turns out, and the counter-attack just fizzled out for St Mirren.
Tanzer back to Taylor, and now to Gogic. Remember later, Aberdeen St Johnstone, 3 o'clock kickoff. The weather there is as bad as it was here yesterday, by all accounts, as Ryan Strain picks up for Saints, driving forward, rolls it out to the right for McMenamin, just bobbled and bounced, can control it under pressure from Nicholas Raskan. He rolls it back to this near side, where St Mirren pick up again with Fraser, getting it to Strain, back to Fraser, out to McMenamin in the touchline, level with 18, back to Strain, swings the ball up high along the 18-yard line, headed away by Goldson. Awkward bounce for Roof, can't get anything onto it. St Mirren pick up in the centre circle. O'Hara out wide left to Tanzer, support from Kilty, up against Goldson, lovely skill from Kilty, he's brought down left-hand side of the box by Goldson. Free kick St Mirren, level with the 6-yard line, and Connor Goldson's shown the yellow card. 12 minutes in, 0-0.
Really clever play from Kiltie. A beautiful little spin.
It was brilliant,
So
wasn't it?
outside of the boot, nutmeg, spun round him on the other side. And I mean, he just totally flummoxed Connor Goldson, who get caught then and had to bring the challenge. I mean, what is that, a yard from the penalty area, but really positive from St Mirren. There was a period of play just before, Liam, as well, which is a concern to Rangers, where there was a 3-2 for St Mirren's favour, overload towards the back post. I mean, they do look ropey out of possession, Rangers, that's what I would say. I mean, the structure in terms of, they look a little bit 6s and 7s.
Great skill by Kiltie. I remember him doing that as a youngster at Kilmarnock when he made his debut 10 years ago against St Mirren. Free kick there. Strain takes, driving it into the 6-yard area. It comes off a Rangers defender and behind for a corner, which might actually give him a better angle anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he was just trying to flash that, I think, in towards the goalkeeper with pace on it, but it was far too low, the cross. You get a second bite of the cherry here with the corner.
In swinger from Strain, there's a group of players around about the 18-yard line and a big gap in the middle of the penalty box between Kemar Roof and Goldson and the rest of the line.
Liam, it's a similar setup to Aberdeen, if you remember the first goal where Cifuentes got dropped with the run. It's a straight on against it's like the T formation.
Yeah, the big
here.
gap. Yeah, Captain man came in and scored the back end of the box. In comes the corner then. Butland is up. That's a good bit of goalkeeping that. He just takes it, drops down to the ground. And Jack Butland, who has been a success story, he's been probably the only success story for Rangers this season, as it's smashed forward up towards Lovelace and turned out for a throw-in by Marcus Fraser. But Rangers up the pitch from Butland's long ball after he clutched that corner and took the pressure off his team.
Yeah, brilliant. Great hands, actually. A slippy ball coming in with
under
pace.
Massive pressure as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, there was a few people flying at him in the black and white jerseys.
St Mirren have it though. Long ball down the left. Olisanya chasing. Shooter gets there first. Slides in and puts it into the stand on the far side. Throw in St Mirren.
The difference of having pace up top, Liam, when you're under pressure a little bit, you spoke about Butland releasing Lovelace, and then in one pass, St Mirren are right into the final third of Rangers, just by that pace with Olisanya up top.
Scott Tanzer with the throw, midway inside the Rangers half over on the far side. Saints left. As they attack the visiting end of the stadium in this first half. Pulled short to O'Hara, side football back into his own half for Gogic. Along the grass to Fraser, and out to this near side for Strain. Controls with the right foot, passes with the right with the second touch to McMenamin, who goes back to Fraser. Fraser under pressure from Roof, dink ball forward looking for Olisanya. Suter though is between the man and the ball, and he just sees it back to his goalkeeper. It is St Mirren 0, Rangers 0 in the 15th minute.
Yeah, there's not a lot in it, Liam. It's kind of ebbed and flowed. You know, no real big opportunities so far. A lot of balls into the box that have actually been defended well by both sets of defenders, but yeah, very little in the game.
Well, Rangers have lost 3 of their first Premiership games. They lost 4 in the whole of last season, 3 in the whole of the season before, and of course unbeaten the one before that when they won the title. Tavernier goes back to his goalkeeper, and that's why they are sitting in this kind of no man's land when it comes to a manager right now. 3 defeats in 7 league matches at the start of a campaign is just not a standard that's going to live with Celtic. As Lundstrom moves it out to Cifuentes on the far side to Lovelace on the touchline, level with the edge of the D of the Saints box, rolls it back to Lundstrom in space, side foot ball comes into the St Mirren box. O'Hara slides in, but the final touch is off a Rangers player, and that'll be a goal kick to the home team.
The one thing I've noticed watching Rangers this season is when they do get into the final third and you know the opposition are set up, they struggle to break teams down. They lack creativity and just imagination for me in the final third. It's been standing out like a sore thumb to me watching them.
I agree. I think there's a risk level you have to take. Clearly there's a lot of money spent in that final third, and you expect things to be delivered. Risk taking, decision making to be good, end product most importantly. But I think Rangers get ponderous at times as well, Stevie. They go square instead of penetrating.
Olisanya, good turn after good play by Kiltie again. Olisanya goes down, no free kick, and it's ended up back with Butland at his feet, and he rolls it out to the left for Barisic. Pace up to the halfway line into St Mirren territory, checks his run and passes it back to Suter. Suter then goes back to Butland at the edge of his box. Touch with the right foot, and it's short to Goldson. Forward to Lundstrom, out to the right hand side, Tavernier. Rangers skipper Forward to Lovelace. Movement from Roof ahead of him. His pass doesn't make it there though. It gets picked up by Gogic to Taylor. Taylor exchanges passes with O'Hara, and it's Camley passed out to Bacchus. Keanu Bacchus across halfway, looking to slip it through to Olasanya. Suter reads it and gets there before it could work its way through to the St Mirren striker.
It was the harder pass. The ball was out here to the right hand side to McMenamin.
Cifuentes for Rangers, out to Lovelace on the far side. Neither team's really managed to get a stranglehold on this just now. It was a bright enough start by Rangers, but they've not been in control of the match. Lovelace picks up wide on the right, rolls it back to Tavernier. Chip ball with the left foot into the box, comes all the way through to Hemming. There was a collision between Raskan and Gogic. No complaints from either player though. 0-0 here.
No, it's just what you're saying and what Stevie's talking about, Liam. I mean, it's a final ball, it's a gloss on top of a move. When you get into the final third, it's just not good enough. So many times over the last number of weeks, I've seen Rangers probably dominate possession, get into good areas and put plenty of balls in the box, but there's no end product. I think Lovelace has looked sharp, he's looked good, and he's maybe just simplify it a little bit and bounce and go and use that really good pace. But at times when they get into areas of the pitch, I want to see them put the ball in behind the defence of St Mirren and ask questions of the defenders going towards their own goal. That will deepen St Mirren, that will allow space in front of them to put little balls into Roof if he's coming short. But St Mirren so far have dealt with a lot of those crosses going into the box.
McMenamin chasing down the right. Suter favourite though, and Suter goes down.
What's happened there?
He's got the free kick right in front of the linesman. He's got the best view of it inside the stadium.
It looked to me like he just collapsed to the ground. But anyway,
you did that yesterday as well, did you not? For the sending off for Dan Mackay. There's no touch there.
I was convinced young Lennon Miller didn't touch him.
This guy's just falling over.
John Lundstrom with a long ping out onto the chest to SMiSA on this near side. The overlap from Barisic. SMiSA uses him as the decoy.
Terrible.
Cross comes in and Hemming gathers inside the 6-yard area.
Such a poor cross. You know, you're in a wide area, and with his pace, he can go and take on the full-back if he wants. He puts a cross into the box. It's snowing, a big floaty one, easy for Zach Keggington to come and take. And another example of just how they run out of ideas when they get into the opposition final third.
Need Barisic in the overlap as well there, SMiSA.
Yeah.
The long ball from Hemming, right down the middle of the pitch, picked up by Suter, who sweeps it back to his keeper. Long ball, first time with the right foot from him, 19.5 in, 0-0. Long ball which on the stretch is Richard Taylor's. Out to Tanzer, his clearance bobbles back off a Rangers player, back to Gogic. Lundstrom picks up. Cifuentes back to Tavernier on the halfway line. And right of the circle it is Lundstrom. Every St Mirren player back inside their own half just now. Rangers have it with Suter. Looking for an option ahead of him. Decides to flick it with the outside of the right boot out to Barisic wide on the left hand side. Taking on McMenamin down towards the corner flag. A lovely ball by Barisic, but it's a diving header away from Tanzer. And the referee's given St Mirren a free kick in any case for that. It's a wonderful ball by Borna Barisic down this near side. We know both he and Tavernier are such weapons down the flanks for Rangers with their crossing abilities. And that was another example of it from Barisic. 20 in, 0-0.
Yeah, what a ball that was. Talking about SMiSA's poor delivery, but Barisic's one thing you're going to get in the final third. I didn't actually think he had the room to manoeuvre it past Ryan Strain, but he dug the cross out, killed the goalkeeper. But Tanzer on the opposite side tucking in, doing really well. I'm saying it's just another indication of how well St Mirren defend their box at times.
And a good side here, St Mirren. They've only lost 4 of their last 25 home matches. Hibs, Celtic, Kilmarnock and Rangers. One of the victors. Rangers win coming on the final day of last season as Olasanya wins a free kick midway inside Rangers territory, left of centre. They have been strong here in Paisley for a while now under Stephen Robinson, who, interestingly, guys were talking about footwear earlier, has got his studs on. Doesn't surprise me the amount of jumping and louping about he does inside his technical area.
Alex Ray's in the other technical area, so just in case it gets tasty, he's obviously studded up there.
He's got shinnies on as well.
Free kick, St Mirren. It's maybe about 10 yards away from the far side touchline. Ryan Strain waiting for the OK from the ref. Now it comes. He steps over it. Whipped in by Tanzer. It might break to the back post here. It's an opportunity.
Oh my word.
Sliced wide. Sorry, it was Tanzer at the back post. McMenamin delivered it. Tanzer picked up on the right hand side, and he's the wrong man in the right place there as he slices it into the visiting fans. and it stays St Mirren 0, Rangers 0 as we approach the end of the first quarter.
And that is why he's a left back, not a right back. It fell on his right foot. It was a really good chance actually, and he just completely sclaffed it up into the Rangers crowd, but it was poorly defended in the first instance by Rangers. The ball into the box. Yeah.
I'm sure Scott Tansley put the ball in, but there you go. Perhaps they would have preferred McMenamin to have been on the right-hand side of the box there, where he is accustomed to being. Brought in from Glentoran in the summer, and he's made that transition brilliantly, as Stephen was saying earlier. A really important signing.
Liam, I'm watching. Stephen Davis is telling SMiSA to come up halfway, and then John Lonsome telling him to get back and pick up strain. The boy just looks as if he doesn't know what he's supposed to do there. On-field instruction versus technical area instruction.
Goldson will nick it back to Butland under pressure from Olasanya. Butland, first time clearance, flicked on by Roof, comes through to Gogic. And now it's Fraser. St Mirren have soaked up what Rangers have had to offer, and looking to try and assert their authority, looking for a 6-point gap between these two come the close of business here today, as McMenamin collects on the right hand side. Showed a bit too much of it to Raskan, but he'll be happy enough to have won a win off the Belgian. This is level with the Rangers 18-yard line on this main stand side. We're waiting the deadlock to be broken here. Sports Sound this Sunday afternoon on BBC Radio Scotland, across the frequencies on digital and online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. There is the throw in from Strain to Bacchus off Bacchus, St Mirren corner.
Yeah, I mean, St Mirren have worked the ball well down this right-hand side. They've been down here more than the opposite side. It's a really good combination that they've got with Strain and McMenamin, always willing to run and stretch the Rangers' defence. And again, more joy down this right-hand side. A corner now, in swinger it's going to be.
From McMenamin. An opportunity here for St Mirren. They've got a few players in about the 18-yard line making a run in now. The corner comes to the back post, and it's missed by everyone, including Richard Taylor, who'd actually got himself into a good position, run about 7 or 8 yards from goal there, but it just flew by him. He would have felt the wind in his face as the ball zipped past it, and it goes behind for a goal kick to Rangers. It stays nothing each in Paisley.
It was a fantastic delivery in from McMenamin into a really, really good area. Take the goalkeeper out of it. Richard Taylor probably just lost the flight of the ball. Seemed to misjudge it a wee bit.
Goldson to Lundstrom, out to Tavernier, wide on the right-hand side, low ball, side foot forward to Cifuentes, looking to work it to Lovelace on the right-hand side of the box. Good play, positive, plays it across the face. It's been missed by SMiSA. It's come off him, but he can't divert it on target. Here's Raskan for Rangers, and he'll have to settle for the corner. Strain puts it behind.
I've no idea. He's saying it. He's saying there's a handball here, which they'll obviously have a check on, but Zach Lovelace does great, takes a wonderful touch inside, then goes on the outside and whips in a great cross, eliminates Hemming and goal. But SMiSA just has to get good contact. It can come off at anywhere. He's that close, yeah.
Just let it hit you. He's a foot from the goal. It's an open goal. I don't know how the ball goes behind him. I don't know how he misses it. It's incredible.
You could hear him touching the ball. You heard the noise.
Yeah,
it came off him.
I mean, if it comes off a hand, it doesn't matter. I'm not quite sure how SMiSA doesn't get any contact on it.
Astonishing. But the ball in, you're right, the ball in was superb from Lovelace.
25 played, 0-0, but they are checking for a possible Rangers penalty. Kerdin Idsan seen it.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a penalty to Rangers. One of the St Mirren players, it looks like he has handled it just about on the line, which is exactly what SMiSA was complaining about, taking the ball away from his tap-in basically, and they're going to have a close look at this because it does seem to be a handball.
Yeah, we don't have monitors here, so unfortunately,
it might do. Actually,
blind here.
Sneaking a wee look.
Are you getting a wee look at something, are you?
Some of the Rangers media have a look at it.
Well, big moment coming in here. The VAR is Stephen Kirkland.
Well, my eyes are not as sharp as they used to be for those screens, Stevie, so it might have come off the hand.
And difficult to see from here. Kerdin reckons this could be given though. And this could be a Rangers penalty. And St Mirren defenders, St Mirren team nervously wait. He's going to come over and have a look at it himself here, Nick Walsh.
It's not only SMiSA, Roof's hands are up as well, so they've clearly seen something there.
Well, a corner was awarded initially, but Nick Walsh has come over to this near side to have a look at the VAR monitor to check it back himself. He's still in dialogue with Stephen Kirkland. The Rangers could be about to be awarded a penalty here.
Yeah, I think it's Ryan Strain maybe at the back post. Looks as if he's outstretched his left hand.
Nick Walsh, eyes on the screen, when it looks as though Rangers are about to be given the opportunity to take the lead here. Still he watches the replays. It was fired across brilliantly by Lovelace on a couple of players at the back post. Ryan Strain is the possible offender for St Mirren here. Nick Walsh still looking at it, he's still not sure. Sub Ben Davis having a little look over the referee's shoulder on his way by there. And he's having a chat with his current manager. Nick Walsh has seen enough of it. He's now walking back onto the pitch.
Looks like it.
And he's moving towards the halfway line, and he awards Rangers the first spot kick after the lengthy check, and Rangers have a penalty.
A red card
come
as well.
on, man.
Red card as well.
Well, he has stopped a goal-scoring opportunity, hasn't he, deliberately, it's deemed, from Nick Walsh. Maybe that was the length of time he was taking for his consideration, but that's a double blow to St Mirren.
Huge, massive blow for Saints. Ryan Strain ordered off. Stephen Robinson is asking the question of the fourth official. He can't believe it. And the St Mirren supporters around about us, I can tell you, can't believe it either. Double blow for them. Double boost potentially here for Rangers.
I mean, obviously I've not had the opportunity to see it back, Neil, but for me that is unbelievably harsh.
It looked like I caught the screen in front, just a couple of rows down. It looked like he stretched his arm out with his hand, with his left, and stopped SMiSA getting on it. So it's very deliberate, clearly, to stop a goal-scoring opportunity.
Penalty to Rangers. And it looks as though certainly Tavernier had the ball. He would be the normal spot kick taker, yet he's getting ready to take this one. And things could be about to go extremely flat for Stephen Robinson and his team here. Down to 10 men, goalless at the moment, but James Tavernier is a golden opportunity to give Rangers the lead here in Paisley. Tavernier standing over the ball, the referee just ensuring everyone else is outside the box. Zach Hemming on his goal line, arms outstretched. Tavernier now comes right-footed and scores, bottom left. Rangers lead in Paisley. Tavernier takes full advantage of the penalty awarded after the long VAR check. It was initially given as a corner, but after Nick Walsh had a look back at it, he awarded the penalty. He sends off Ryan Strain, and James Tavernier dispatches it beautifully into the bottom left, away from the grasp of Hemming. And it's St Mirren 0, Rangers 1 after half an hour.
Yeah, a really good penalty from James Tavernier. Hemming did go the right way, and he's down low. I mean, he's getting a good stretch on it, but it's so accurate into that side netting. A really good penalty. I was just wondering what kind of reaction that the Rangers players would get from the support. I mean, they've gone, and the ball's hitting the net, but it's strangely subdued, isn't it, Stevie?
Yeah, a wee bit. That is.
But a lot of pressure on the penalty nonetheless, and he's dispatched the captain. Yeah,
Hemming goes the right way, but it's far enough in the corner with a decent amount of pace on it as well.
Maybe get a more considered statement from Cerdine about that whole thing, because we spoke to him and he thought it would be given as a penalty. I don't think anyone was expecting the ordering off to come on top of that as well. So the ball's out to play in the far side. Rangers in an attacking position again, so we'll maybe just let this go and see what Cerdine makes of the red card as Tavernier pulls it back to Cifuentes. And now Lovelace out towards Tavernier, and now level with the 6-yard line. This had been a pretty even game, it has to be said, up to that point. But St Mirren being hit not once but twice there. 1-0 to the visitors. Cerdine Idsan down there. I'm sure you've seen plenty of replays of it now, Cerdine. What's your take on not just the penalty award, which you thought was going to come, but the red card for Ryan Strain?
Yeah, I think Neil McCann's called it spot on. I think the reason that the referee had so many looks at it was just to convince himself that it was a deliberate handball, because Strain has a clear view of the cross coming over, and the referee's interpretation is that he's been a little bit cute and he's deliberately handled it so that it gets away from SMiSA, who in fairness to him claimed for it straight away. He thought it was a handball, SMiSA thought it was a deliberate handball, and I think that's why the referee was just having the extra few views at the monitor. But I must admit, first impression I had was that's going to be a penalty to Rangers. Rangers, and sure enough, and the red card is for that deliberate action of putting his hand towards the ball. And fair play to Lovelace as well. What an impact he's had. It was his fizz cross that made that happen in the first place. Looked like James Tavernier made a beeline to him as well to say thanks for that sort of semi-assist, son.
Yeah, well, I mean, the first reaction from the guys beside me here was, how's Abdallah Sima not scored there? Well, there you go.
Yeah, well, that would suggest why. Because we couldn't understand why he hadn't knocked it in the net. Clearly vindicated with his claims.
Rangers in front then. Tavernier over on the far side is on it. That is Tavernier's 5th goal of the season. As Raskan collects on this near side, he was of course joint top scorer with Antonio Cholak. Last season was Tavernier. Abdallah Sima has been scoring the goals recently, and he's sitting in that position as well. So he and Tavernier are the go-to for goals right now.
Yeah, I wondered what St Mirren would do with that red card. So Lasanya's playing up alone. That'll be a tough shift for him. But he's going to 5-3 formation. Stevie, he's just kept the 5 there. He's brought Kilty and dropped him in ahead of Bacchus and Mark O'Hara. Paul Lasanya's going to have a thankless task.
It's a thankless task, but I mean,
what it's going to do is open up the fullbacks. It's going to open up the fullbacks for Rangers, Stevie. And if the wing backs go and engage there, that's going to bring Sima and Lovelace right into the game, into those channels now. This could be a really difficult afternoon for Stevie.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. The one thing about leaving Olisana up there is that if you're under pressure and you have to clear it and just put distance on it, then
he's got the legs.
He's the type of player that would suit that ball.
Barisic will take a Rangers corner, incidentally. St Mirren putting it behind. There was a sliding tackle, did so as Barisic pumps the ball into the box. Goldson wins the header, and what a save by Hemming. How on earth has he kept that out? Goldson's goal-bound header has been tipped over the bar by the diving Zach Hemming, who keeps the scoreline St Mirren 0, Rangers 1.
It's an incredible save, Neil. It really is. I mean, the header's decent from Goldson, but to get there and tip it over the bar, full stretch.
Comes another corner though, pressure still on. Suter this time wins the header, heads it down into the ground, and Hemming holds on. He's been excellent for St Mirren. They've not missed Trevor Carson one iota.
Yeah, we're right behind that header. I mean, Connor Goldson is on the back pedal, but he does well to generate power back across Hemming. But I mean, it's fingertip stuff. What a stop that is.
Another goal goes in there, and probably game over. It's not beyond the realms of possibility that St Mirren can still get something out of this game. It's unlikely now that they're down a man, down a goal.
See,
and not impossible.
So sorry, Liam, I was just looking there. I mean, this is where Raskin, the midfielders of Rangers, need to be clever. There's no necessity for them to go into wide areas. Just stay in the middle, get in between St Mirren's midfield line, and give them a problem. That will open up the wings for Barisic and Sima. Sometimes they've just got to understand their role, just to let the wide players stay in there, operate there. You can see I'm actually watching Raskin, and now he's apologising to Barisic for coming into his area. And that information's just been passed in, actually. So well done to the coaching staff.
Stephen Davis down there, difficult start for him in Cyprus the other night. Was a really insipid performance by Rangers as they were beaten by Aris Limassol, having beaten Real Betis in their opener in that Europa League group. Now the double header with Sparta Prague in the meat of the section. The long ball goes out of play from Zach Hemming for a Rangers throw-in on the far side. Final 10 minutes of the 45. There will clearly be a few minutes added on at the end of that as well. Suter gets it from Butland. And what was, Tom, a pretty even game is now all about Rangers.
Yeah, it's going to be a really long afternoon for St Mirren now. They want to just try and keep it at 1-0 for as long as they can in the game, and then try and get an opportunity from somewhere in the second half. But yeah, I mean, it's hard enough to beat Rangers with 11 men, never mind with 10.
James Tavernier wide on the right, goes back the way to Goldson, and John Suter picks up, and it continues. Rangers' terrific goal scoring record inside this stadium since St Mirren moved in 2008. They've scored in each of their visits here. Tavernier's penalty ensures they keep that going. Goldson finds the skipper on the right, swings the ball into the box. Hemming decides to punch it away rather than catch. Wet ball, of course. The soggy surface as Lundstrom tidies up and passes it back to Suter, and now it's with Goldson. Right-footed out to Tavernier on that right-hand side. Passes it back to Cifuentes, in field to Lundstrom. John Lundstrom, short ball forward to Raskan, and then out to Tavernier on that right-hand side. Tavernier level with 18, the ball comes in again towards Roof, it's not half away, Cifuentes shoots for goal, deflected, Hemming swings a fist at it, gets something on it, and the whistle goes towards St Mirren, a free kick inside their own penalty area, and it stays St Mirren 0, Rangers 1 on 37.
Yeah, it was quite a stramash there. St Mirren not able to clear the ball. Eventually the shot comes in from Cifuentes, kind of pops up into the air. Henning tries to get a hand to it, and I think Roof kicks his hand as he's going to clear it. He was obviously just going for the ball himself. Nick Walsh is going to book. Was it Lovelace?
Lovelace has been booked, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Zach Lovelace that flies in with his. I mean, but I think he's entitled to go for it. The ball's in the air. I think the goalie's going to punch it. Lovelace is going to kick it. Sometimes there's a collision there. It seems okay, Hemming, thankfully.
Joins Connor Goldson in the book. 3 o'clock start at Pittodrie, Aberdeen against St Johnstone. And that is to come here on Sunday Sports Sound a little later in the programme. Highlights tonight from Sports Scene 7:15, BBC Scotland channel of these two games. A look back at yesterday's 3 Premiership matches as well. Wins for Celtic and Livingston, the thriller in the capital, as Hearts and Hibs picked up a point apiece. Hibs coming from 2-0 down. You'll get highlights of that one as well. And Goals Plus for just the goals at the BBC iPlayer, and that is Sports Scene Goals Plus on the iPlayer. And Lovelace goes down on the far side. St Mirren supporters aren't happy as it's played out to this near side. McMenamin flicking it off Barisic and out for a throw-in to Saints. Stephen Robinson cajoling his players, clapping them at every opportunity. 38 and a half in, 1-0 Rangers.
I think Lovelace has done his hammy here.
Yeah, I don't know if he's looking as if he's gone to that hamstring. Yeah, whether he's done it on the hurdle. I don't think it's an impact.
No, there
injury.
wasn't, but he's certainly in a bit of discomfort. I think the St Mirren fans were booing, thinking he was play acting, but he certainly is not.
Kerdine's had a look at that. Kerdine?
Yeah, he put his hands to the back of his left thigh straight away, the hamstring, and I'll be very surprised if he's able to continue. It's exceptionally unlikely to be cramp at this early stage of the match, and the way he's writhing in agony just now, and I've seen a couple of reruns, he's getting attention from a couple of the physios already. His hands are over his head. It looks to me like he thinks his match is done after only 39 minutes and having played a key role, as I was saying earlier, in winning that penalty for Rangers. Shame for him.
17 years of age, Zach Lovelace. He's not a Rangers Academy product though. He was signed from Millwall last summer. But yeah, it looks as though he's going to have to come off, and they obviously have options on the bench. Lammers and Dessers were both dropped today.
I think they're looking at a young boy here.
Young McCausland, yeah, he came on Thursday night and did okay. Which
is incredible when you think, right, you could put SMiSA to one side and maybe bring on a Desser or a...
Well, it maybe just shows you
Lammer, but
what
it shows
the coaching
you,
staff think at this minute in time of Lammers and Dessers.
Exactly.
I just wonder as well, because the supporter reaction to Dessers in particular and Lammers has not exactly been warm for those two players.
No, it's not.
No, but what I would also balance out there is this a good time to bring them on? They're down to 10 men. They're 1-0 up, Rangers. Is it a good time to bring a Desser on and give them the opportunity to be comfortable in the game? Rangers are going to be comfortable here. They're going to enjoy lots of possession at the back. There's going to be opportunities. Crosses get into the box. Balls going through the midfield. It might have been a good time to bring the boy into the action, but it was looking like McCausland.
Yeah, he's just made his way to the bench. 20 years of age, Northern Irishman.
Feel sorry for young Lovelace though, because he has been good today. He's looked physically good, physically ready, quick.
Well, the goal comes from
this. Yeah, absolutely.
And kind of moments like that have been few and far between in this first half. And you're talking about Rangers needing creativity.
And on comes the Northern Irish under-21 international. The right winger, can play on both sides, primarily on the right though, and that's where he's going. SMiSA will stay on the left. 41 on the clock now. St Mirren 0, Rangers 1. That will add to the stoppage time at the end of this. It's Barisic nicks in there ahead of Kiltie, and now Tavernier at the edge of the centre circle. First time with the right foot down the left-hand side of the St Mirren box, but too much on it, and he goes behind for a St Mirren goal kick. St Mirren still have a chance, Tom, of getting something out of this.
Yeah, as long as it stays at 1-0, Liam. If it goes to 2, I don't think there's a way back with 10 men. But if they can keep it at 1-0 till later on in the game, into that second half, I mean, it's been a game of very, very few opportunities, good opportunities. I can only count maybe 1 or 2 half chances. So it's been tight, and Rangers haven't really looked like penetrating too much. The goal obviously comes from the penalty spot. So if they can just keep themselves in it for long enough, then they can throw caution to the wind the last kind of 15 minutes.
It is Tavernier back to Goldson. This would take Rangers back to level points with St Mirren today, take them back to within 7 of the leaders Celtic, who haven't hit top gear yet. They're beginning to motor now.
Yesterday was
been good. They were better yesterday.
Yeah, they were really
beginning to click. But that's the thing. They're sitting there 7 points clear at the top, strolling right now, and they've not hit top gear yet. And that is a worry for everyone else. As Barisic finds SMiSA on the near side. Back to Barisic at the byline. First time ball across. Bounces back off Fraser, and Rangers up their latest corner.
Yeah, there were a lot of corners in this first half. Obviously the biggest opportunity coming from Goldson with a header. Fantastic save from Hemming. Looks like Tavernier and young Ross McCausland are going out to deliver this one. They've been taking quite a few of these short and trying to work a different angle.
2v1 for McCausland and Tavernier. Barisic stays inside and then occupies Bacchus.
Well, he's rolled it back to Barisic, level the edge of the D. He takes a touch and swings a really deep cross into the box, headed away by Gogic, helped on its way by McMenamin. Olusanya going after it, he can't control though, and Raskan will mop up and pass it back to Butland.
Yeah, that's the other thing he's got to do, Olusanya, is when he does get the ball, he's got to make sure he secures it. And it's difficult when you're only getting a touch every 10 minutes. You've got to make sure you keep that ball and allow your 3 midfielders behind you to try and get up and support you.
Here's Goldson, long with the right foot. Back to SMiSA on this left-hand side. Not great control though, came off his hip. Then breaks McMenamin's way. He's under pressure down by his own corner flag here, plays it off SMiSA and wins the goal kick.
He's actually been a good goal threat for Rangers of late in terms of getting goals and hitting the back of the net, but that's something that he needs to work on, Stevie. You talk about Olusanya as well. His first touch needs to be much better. At times he's almost trying to run without even getting the ball under control, and if he just slows himself down, takes a touch first and then use what he has, which is really, really good pace and he's direct, he'd be a lot more effective.
He's on loan from Brighton as SMiSA, but he did face Rangers when he was at Slavia Prague in the Europa League a few seasons back. Slavia knocked Rangers out. Suter collects deep inside his own half to Raskan, back to Suter and out to Barisic on this near side. Into Suter at the edge of the box, where SMiSA took his season's tally up to 6 the other night in Cyprus.
He was actually one of the only players that got pass marks.
Cosland chasing that, but it's a lost cause. Comes right through to Hemming. The stoppage time is about to be revealed. It's 6 minutes that have been added. We're into the first of those now, as Hemming surveys the pitch ahead of him.
Tell you what, Kemar Roof's cut a frustrated figure for Rangers today as well. I'm trying to think of any meaningful touches he's had himself.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Centre forward, but I don't think Roof's, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 touches I can remember.
He's barely been it. Olusanya tripped by Lundstrom midway inside the Rangers half in a rare foray into enemy territory for St Mirren.
These are the opportunities that St Mirren need to make the most of, is when they get set pieces and they can bring the bigger players up. Gogic is going up, Taylor's up, Marcus Fraser. They need to make sure that they make the most of these, because creating chances from open play is going to be extremely difficult.
It's just slightly right to centre, and it's in a position where Conor McMenamin might be able to offer up a dangerous ball. He'd have probably preferred it a bit wider than what it is. Marcus Fraser having a word with his teammate. Saints number 10, ready to deliver, chipped in with the left foot, looking to get it into that back post area where it just bounces off Taylor and goes behind, and Taylor's ended up crashing into the advertising behind the byline. Actually wasn't the worst ball in the world by McMenamin.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought he was on that there.
The ball was good, he looked as though he was on it. He got ahead of Goldson, and then he just got to swing a leg at it. He didn't.
The Rangers fans aren't happy with something, I'm not sure what it is.
They wanted to take it quick, and I don't know.
Taylor was off the pitch, I suppose. That's what they were.
Yeah, I don't know if Nick Walsh is just telling him just to wait until he gets back on.
He is now, Taylor. As Goldson picks up and rolls it out to Tavernier. Tavernier on the Rangers' right, short ball in field to Cifuentes, back to Tavernier. Rolls it into the centre circle for Suter. And Suter will knock it out to Barisic on this near side. Left foot chip ball forward, bending towards the St Mirren box, allowed to bounce. McCausland, wonderful, back to Raskan, and Hemming saves again.
Is it Tanzer or is it a save from the goalkeeper?
Well, it's behind for a Rangers corner, whatever happened there. Wonderful little flick back by the youngster McCausland, and Raskan must have thought he was opening his account. It stays 1-0 Rangers.
It was a very, very intelligent header from McCausland into the path of Raskin. He has to score. He's got to score. Whether it's a block from Tanzer or it hits Hemming, either way, St Mirren do incredibly well to deflect it by for the corner. But that's, you know, it really should be 2-0 there.
It's come off both of them apparently. Right. It's way for the corner, and Lovelace is being wheeled up the tunnel on a stretcher as Barisic swings the corner in. Big moment for St Mirren. It's half away and the referee blows the whistle. There's a head knock inside the 6-yard area. Two players went up challenging for the corner. John Suter was the Rangers player involved. He's just getting himself back to his feet.
Taylor, is it? I'm not sure.
I think it's going to be a stoppage in play anyway. He's just getting himself back to his feet. A couple of bangs in the last couple of minutes. Richard Taylor.
Yeah, it looked as though it was going to be a bad one initially, but both players thankfully back up on their feet very quickly.
Well, that's a glorious opportunity for Raskan to potentially put this game beyond St Mirren before half-time. He hasn't taken it. He played 3 of the 6 minutes of stoppage time. Hemming will take a free kick here. John Suter, Richard Taylor will both be okay to continue, but they're being ushered off the pitch just now, as is protocol. And Hemming will take the free kick for St Mirren. They're looking to, very least, go in at half-time, just the one behind. Very nearly 2 there. A couple of really important blocks by Hemming, albeit he was ably assisted by Tanzer on that occasion. Little flick by SMiSA down the near side. Both Taylor and Fraser went for it. Taylor was just back in the pitch, wasn't even meant to be in that position. Fraser to go at his teammate. The referee blows for a free kick to St Mirren in any case. Just in the wake of that, Fraser side football to Taylor, out to the left-hand side for Tanzer. Long ball down the left, looking for Olasanya, who's going to chase it. Goldson will get there, but Olasanya's bullied him off the ball. Brilliant from the striker, and he wins his team the throw-in level with the Rangers 6-yard line. And Goldson had a difficult afternoon against Aberdeen last Saturday, and when it was 11 against 11, there were a couple of dodgy moments for him early in proceedings, and of course he was booked for the challenge in Greg Kiltie when he did him earlier, and it was Olasanya's turn that time.
I'm going to load the box here. I thought Mark O'Hara was telling Big Taylor to get into the box. There he is, he's still asking him to get up.
Long throw-in from Gogic coming up from the far side. It's level with the Rangers penalty spot in first half stoppage time. And it comes from Gogic. Header away by Cifuentes, out for another throw into Saints, down by the corner flag as we tick into the last of 6 minutes that were added on.
It's not the longest of long throws I've ever seen Gogic's got, is it?
No, and he's bowled it back the way to Taylor. Crosses into the box and headed away by Tavernier. And then nodded by McCausland, I think got the touch as Marcus Fraser picks up and finds McMenamin on the near side, driving away from SMiSA, and then turning back the way. McMenamin's ball into the box, left by Goldson, and it comes right through to Jack Butland, and it will stay St Mirren 10-man, St Mirren 0, Rangers 1.
Yeah, it's just about getting in at half-time now for Stephen Robinson at 1-0, trying to come up with a way of trying to get back into this match at half-time. It's going to be extremely difficult, but again, I think making the most of these set plays when they get them is the way back into the game for St Mirren.
Suter for Goldson, the last knock-ins of the first half here. It's Goldson out to Tavernier on the right, driving forward, low ball into the box, sliding in to prevent it, getting to Cifuentes with Taylor. It comes in again though on the right for McCausland, but Hemming holds on at his near post. It's St Mirren 0, Rangers 1 at half-time here in Paisley. Zach Hemming with the final touch of the first half. If it wasn't for him, Rangers would be further ahead, but it's because of a penalty awarded after their lengthy VAR check. that Rangers lead this match. James Tavernier dispatched it after Ryan Strain was adjudged to have deliberately handled it, preventing Abdallah Sima from opening the scoring at the back post. He was sent off in the wake of the VAR penalty award, and Tavernier dispatched low into the bottom left corner with a right-footed penalty to give Rangers the lead in a match that actually had been pretty even Stevens up to that point. Connor Goldson drew a magnificent save out of Zach Hemming. It looked as though it was going to be 2-0. It was an excellent piece of goalkeeping, and a combination of both he and Tanzer deny Nico Raskan towards the end of the first half, as Nick Walsh, the referee, is booed by the St Mirren supporters as he and the ball and one of his assistants make their way up the tunnel here. Difficult task for Saints to keep their unbeaten start to this Premiership season going now. Down to 10 men, and behind at the break in Paisley, where it is 10-man St Mirren 0, Rangers 1.
This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland.
A golden goal! Absolutely tremendous.
There's no substitute.
How would I describe my musical tastes? I'm going to use the word eclectic.
Charlene Spiteri plays the songs that have helped shape her life.
The Clash, the reason why I'm in a band, Joe Strummer.
And the artists who have influenced her music.
The soul side of Texas started to come out, and this was the song that kicked it off.
I'm so tired of being alone. I love you.
When she sings that, you know she never loved a man the way she loved this man.
Life Tracks.
I'm the person that puts on the radio and literally goes, oh, what's that?
Tuesday night from 8 on BBC Radio Scotland and Sounds.
Half-time in Paisley, St Mirren 0, Rangers 1, the James Tavernier penalty. Full live commentary to come from here at a wet, windy, damp and dreary Pittodrie. 3 o'clock kick-off, Aberdeen against St Johnstone. If you are heading to this one, drive safely. It is not pleasant in the northeast this afternoon. The highlights of that game, and indeed the one we're midway through, Sporting tonight with Jonathan, 7:15, BBC Scotland channel. And among the highlights in the week ahead, look out every day for the Scottish Football Daily podcast, which is published Monday to Friday. And Thursday night, I guess the big highlight, the big qualifier, Spain against Scotland, will be on air from 6 o'clock. Full live commentary in the radio. Highlights 10:30 at night on BBC One Scotland. But there's so much more, various other podcasts and streamings, and you get full details at the website bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland, and indeed, of course, all our social media channels. A little bit later, we'll be joined here by Willie Miller and Alan Preston. We'll build up to the Aberdeen St Johnstone game. Right now, we are contemplating the first 45 minutes of the encounter, the first encounter that we're bringing you live this afternoon. No question about the one incident that has altered potentially the course of the game. The cross from Lovelace, the handball by Strain, the penalty awarded to Rangers, and James Tavernier stepping up. I know, Neil, you got a chance to look over the shoulders of one of the Rangers media team and get a wee glimpse of it. Have you two had any closer look at that incident, that decision?
No, that was just the kind of wee squint we got.
Just one thing. It's so Lovelace, as Curdy said, Lovelace does very well, and he whips in the cross. This all happens in an instant, a split second, and Ryan Strain, it's an instinctive move. Do you know what? If he leaves that ball, I think there's enough curl on the ball, and Sima coming in at the pace he's coming in, I think the ball probably goes behind Sima anyway.
You think he wouldn't have made contact with it, Richard?
I'm not so sure he would have got it, just in terms of his forward momentum,
right,
and the curl on the ball, because it was curling away from goal. Okay. But of course you can't even contemplate that in the instant. It's an instinctive thing. Look, he's handled it, there's no question, and I must admit it didn't cross my mind either, but the referees, if he's given the penalty, he has to send him off, because it is a clear handball, and he is clearly he's preventing a goal scoring clear opportunity without making any effort to play the ball.
Yeah, I felt that when Nick Walsh was having a wee look and taking just an extra bit of time, that was a consideration. I don't think it was whether it was a penalty or not, because when I did look down, you could see it had struck Ryan Strain's hand. I know Kerrigan has said he's got plenty of time to see it coming in, but it was flashed down with Lovelace. I still think he's got time to see it, and he does stretch for me, Richard. looking at it, but as I said, I've only had one kind of clearer look.
It is a deliberate motion by his left hand, isn't it?
So.
And he kind of just, it's almost like he tucks it away.
Yeah, but young Zach Lovelace, I think, has done well today for his starting debut. He's looked aggressive, he's gone out, he takes a beautiful touch inside and then goes back outside, which I absolutely love from wide players. You get on the outside again, then everybody's going towards their own goal, and it was a really good cross. Unfortunately, he's had to go off. The interesting decision then is bring on young McCausland instead of one of the bigger ones, isn't it?
I mean, that was just very, very noteworthy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It's a statement of some sorts from Stephen and the coaching staff there to say, well, no, I'm turning to another kid rather than you boys. I sort of countered that, Richard, to think that it's probably a good chance. I mean, I don't think you can bury the boys who's not performed. I think it was a good opportunity to probably throw on Dessa and maybe Lammers because of the control Rangers would have in the game, the opportunities you would see them getting once St Mirren went down to 10 men. But that's a decision that Stephen makes as a boss right now. But from then on in, as soon as Tavernier scores that goal, and St Mirren adjust their shape, then it's about seeing the game out for Rangers, getting more goals to make it more comfortable. I don't think there's a real comfortable feeling with the Rangers fans, even at 10 men and 1-0 up. There's something strange about it.
Yeah, it's not as if Rangers are playing particularly well. They're not creating, they're not easy on the eye, and I think that's probably one of the biggest things. You know, St Mirren are down to 10 men, and yes, they'll sit in their shape and defend, but you're still expecting Rangers to show more quality on the ball and open them up and give the supporters something to kind of get on the edge of their seats with.
Yeah,
that just isn't there just now, I don't think.
No, and this is where Rangers and the coaches staff need to look. I think there's been a lack. There's been lots of crosses, Richard. We spoke about it early on in the game, how many balls are going into the St Mirren box. I think they defend crosses well. Ironically, that's where the goal comes from, because it was such a great cross from Lovelace. But nonetheless, I think when there's balls in the box, they've done well, and I would love to see more penetrating passes. I think manipulation of St Mirren going to 3 in the midfield and the fullbacks staying kind of shallow, as I said before the game they should do with a wing-back situation. That will force either one of the midfielders to come out and press Barisic or Tavernier. Then that gives you an overload through the middle of the park. If it's one of the wing-backs that engage Barisic or Tavernier, then SMiSA or McCausland will get into those positions. That will stretch the back three, which provides gaps for midfield runners. So there's more opportunity, I believe, for Rangers to be more penetrating. Just now, they've not shown it. The one where Raskin gets a chance is one of those passes in towards the box rather than going wide, and they almost get a second goal from it. So it's clear that that's the route that Rangers need to take more. We always talk about the other side of the city, and I know Rangers fans don't want to hear that, but they've been very, very good at that, Richard. O'Reilly getting in, Hatate yesterday going in between the lines. That's what hurts teams, because the setup is structured, and if your structured setup is set, you can deal with crosses. What hurts you is boys running from beyond, running in between gaps, moving the team, stretching them, and I think that's where Rangers will get more joy.
Steve, I've got to say, just loving hearing Shawadi Wadi being played over the PA there.
That's still number one in Paisley, Richard.
That cannot be
Chains
played.
are always good down here.
Well, that cannot be played at too many football stadiums around the country, it has to be said. But I'm amazed you've even heard of them, Tomo.
Well, don't worry about that.
St Mirren, they haven't... look, the last 15, well, it turned out to be about 22 minutes with the stoppage time of the half have been difficult because they're down to 10 men. Even before then, were they doing enough to hurt Rangers, given what St Mirren have done so far this season and the praise we've given them for their performances?
Well, no, but I mean, you know, there was nothing in the game for either team, really. I think it was very evenly balanced. It's not been a game where we've seen lots of opportunities and chances and kind of open football. It's been very kind of matching up against each other and difficult to find spaces and break the opposition down. No, and they're going to find it even more difficult now, obviously, with 10 men. And I said during commentary, it's about getting to a later stage in the game, only 1-0 down, and then you can maybe take a few risks. You can maybe bring another striker on, you can maybe change the shape a wee bit, but what they can't afford to do is to concede a second goal. I don't think Rangers have troubled them too much, and I think they'll be fairly comfortable with the way that they've defended. Obviously, you've got the corner goal, which was a phenomenal save from Hemming.
Actually, just on that, Steve, Tommy, I mean, you see it in slow motion, and it is even better, because not only is it full stretch to get there, but it's one of those, it's not just stick your hand out. He actually, once he gets to it, he then has to flick his left wrist and get fingers behind the ball and push it up and over the bar. It's phenomenal.
It was like a Fosbury flop. It really was. Some save.
What?
You know, into your high jump? No. You're too wee to do the high jump. That's
an American high jumper called Dick Fosbury who used to do his jumps listening to Shawadi Wadi, Neil.
I tell you what I'm more interested in, Richard. There's an early contender for man of the match, and it's nowhere near any playing staff. I've just been handed a curry pie. I'm not kidding you. It's magnificent. The last time I was here, I had some sort of kebab pie, which I raved about. It's just been top with this curry thing. What is that, Tommy?
My recollection of what we used to be given at halftime there was biscuits from the 1970s that everyone had forgotten about for about 30 years.
I sit next to the Shawadi Wadi CD. They've given you the biscuits. Well, I tell you,
Neil, first of all, you're welcome. Second of all, it's a salt and chili chicken curry pie.
Oh my
it's unbelievable.
Goodness. I tell you.
Well, fair play to St Mirren. Wow.
Tom, take it away. I'm just going to finish this.
Well, yes. I neglected to take one of the pies. I'm now starting to regret that decision. Anyway, there we go.
So, outstanding save from Hemming. Rangers also coming close. It's a nice wee flick actually by McCausland, who's come on and again caught the eye in just a brief cameo thus far. Raskin with a volley, it bounces off, it deflects off hands or onto Hemming over the crossbar. I mean, this is a real chance, isn't it, for Rangers to just regain the confidence that's clearly been missing of late.
Yeah, it is, you would say so, but you know, I've not seen any real signs of that. What they need to do is just win the game, Rangers, and kind of build from that. It's a starting point for them to win the game, and then the confidence comes when a new manager arrives and brings his own ideas and they can start trying to string results together. It's about stopping the rot just now, really, for Rangers, and any type of victory is good for them.
Well, absolutely, getting a win would help. What I guess probably didn't help the players was turning around to see their fans roll out those two banners: heartless, passionless, leaderless, not fit to wear our colours. As a player out there trying to do your best and try to turn things round, you get that message from your fans.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but it just shows you how frustrated the Rangers supporters are with this group of players just now. And I think it comes on the back of obviously the Aberdeen game where the performance wasn't good enough, but Thursday night was exceptionally poor, and you know, there's clearly a disconnect right now between the supporters and this group of players, and the only way they can try and get that kind of warmth back from the Rangers fans is by putting in performances and winning games. Easier said than done. I think the group of players that's here clearly are struggling for confidence. It takes an awful lot of character to be able to try and silence the noise from the supporters, if you like, and the kind of negativity and bring a performance level of your own. But it only comes with winning and winning on a regular basis. But I don't see this particular group of players at this minute in time having the kind of, not the quality, but the free-flowing football that the Rangers supporters want, and the only way to change that is by getting to January and bringing different players in. So it's going to be a really difficult task for whatever Rangers manager comes into the club to lift these players and to get them playing a style of football that's going to turn the Rangers supporters on.
What they need, Steve, is direction. They need structure. They need instruction. You know as well as I do. I mean, he's a player that you expect that, and of course once you get to the final third, I think the freedom element comes into your forward players to be expressive, to be brave, to be creative.
Have they got the players capable of doing that?
Well, that's why the recruitment was done. So you would want to see what I would love to see the notes of the recruitment to see, you know, what they were, why they were brought to the club. You have to think that they showed these qualities for what Michael Beale wanted in the final third. The problem is that style of play wasn't evident, Richard. I mean, the fans have said, I'm not quite sure what our style of play is, and I think that was because Michael Beale was always searching for form from his players that he brought in, and he wasn't getting it, so he would change shape or he would change personnel, and there was never any rhythm to the side. But I think when the new manager coming in here has to say, right, this is how we're playing, this is how I want you to play through the first couple of sections of the pitch. Once you get to the business end, I can give you ideas, but that's what you're getting paid for, to come up with something different in the final third, and that's when they can do that.
Sounds as if the players are just beginning to emerge. Just one little footnote, James Tavernier, 5th goal of the season. It's his 65th goal in the Premiership for Rangers. He's now just one behind Adam Rooney and Odsonne Edouard, ahead of those two, Alfredo Morelos and Lee Griffiths. It's a pretty decent record, isn't it, for a fullback? It is 1-0 for Rangers right now. 3 o'clock here at Fitzrodrie, but it continues to be absolutely foul. Aberdeen against St Johnstone. Whole game live. We'll build up to that one once we have brought you the conclusion of the encounter in Paisley. It is St Mirren 0, Rangers 1, thanks to the Tavernier penalty. Second half commentary live here on Sports and on BBC Radio Scotland with Stephen, Neil and Liam.
It's going to be the 10 men to kick off the second half. St Mirren in the black and white striped shirts, black shorts, white socks, right to left. Rangers in the blue jerseys, white shorts, black socks with the red tops. No changes at half-time for either side. Of course, McCausland replaced Lovelace for Rangers in that first half towards the end of it, and Rangers with a 1-0 lead. SMiSA knocking it forward, but it comes right through to Zach Hemming as St Mirren look to somehow try and get something out of this game, despite the numerical deficiency that they have to deal with in the second 45. In a long time since they won a league game against Rangers, just one win in the last 30 meetings and just 2 of the last 32 in Paisley. It's not a fixture that generally yields points for them. Rangers pick up with Raskan on the far side, and it's gone off him last and out for a St Mirren throw in. Hemming in goal for the home team. Fraser, Gogic and Taylor, with Vakis, O'Hara, Tanser, McMenamin, Olasanya and Kilty. Rangers with Butland in goal, Tavernier, Goldson, Suter, Barisic, Cifuentes, Lundstrom, Raskan, McCausland, Roof and SMiSA. Makes up the Rangers 11 and the Saints 10. Cifuentes just outside the centre circle, rolling it to Tavernier on this near side. Tavernier's got McCausland down the right. He elects to come back the way and just shifts it to the right of the centre circle for Tavernier, who looks to get McCausland played in behind Tanser. Not quite, and it comes through to Hemming. The offside flag went up in any case, and Zach Hemming has the ball in his gloves. And obviously Stephen Robinson, who would take a point from this situation.
100%.
Yeah, would leave a 3-point gap between the clubs going into the second international window of the season. Long ball from Hemming, flicked on by McMenamin. Rangers knock it back into the Saints half as Gogic picks up to Fraser, who will put it back to his own goalkeeper. And it's St Mirren on the ball here with Olasanya to O'Hara. O'Hara then finds Kilty, and there's a foul by Raskan just in the build up to that, so that's going to be a free kick to St Mirren in a decent position here. And this is what Tomo was saying just at the tail end of the first half, that this is the kind of situation that they need to profit from.
Yeah, and it's good refereeing from Nick Walsh. You let the play go on and then brought it back for the foul, which was a clear foul. But you're right, these are the situations that St Mirren need to take full advantage of.
Flighted in by Kilty, headed away by Goldson, and then Raskan picks up the scraps at the edge of his own box, taking it out to that left-hand side, out to the touchline. Cifuentes ahead of him, Raskan brought crashing to the ground, and that's going to be a free kick to Rangers over on that far side touchline, almost level with the edge of the centre circle, and a yellow card for McMenamin as well.
Yeah, Raskin just threw him in there. He was looking for Cifuentes to just to bomb into the left channel, didn't have too many options, took an extra touch, and McMenamin just jumped into the challenge. It was worthy probably of a yellow card. He was a bit late.
I'd say so.
What's the message from the manager if you're down to 10 men and a goal behind at half-time?
Stay in the game, don't concede another. And as I said to Richard, I expect St Mirren, if they can, remain just at 1-0 later in the game, to have a wee go at it.
Goldson to Lundstrom in the centre circle, out to Barisic on the left. There are 4 or 5 actually in an attacking position for Rangers. Barisic goes back the way to Lundstrom though. Now it's Suter, and back in the team today ahead of the Scotland matches coming up. He's playing left centre back for Scotland without Kieran Tierney for this double header. Tavernier picks up, stabs it forward to McCausland, a bit too much on the pass though. And it's out for a throw-in to St Mirren, deep inside their own half on the Saints' left as they go right to left in the second half.
Yeah, James Tavernier took a heavy touch there, and McCausland had got on behind the wing back. He had plenty of space, but just a heavy touch of James and forces the hurried pass. I see Lundstrom a lot, just get his hands out flat, telling everybody to calm down, calm the pace down, but I think the opposite should be happening. I know they're 1-0 up, but as Stevie touched on, I don't think the Rangers fans are over enamoured by how the Rangers team are playing, and I don't think they would encourage the slower pace to let someone get into a shape. It's more keep the tempo up, try and keep the probe, penetrate and put them on the back foot, tire them out. They're already a man down. The last thing that Rangers should be doing is slowing the pace down for them.
Trying to play for a throw-in to Rangers on the near side. Tavernier midway inside his own half, pulls it all the way back to his keeper, and it's with Butland, plays it to Suter. Suter with space ahead of him, taking it up towards halfway, rolls it low, out to Barisic on the left, back to Suter, and squared to Goldson. Goldson out to Tavernier on this near side, McCausland ahead of him. It's now with Cifuentes to Tavernier, and he goes back to Goldson, to Lundstrom, and he goes back to Suter. Suter taking it up to halfway again. A little bit pedestrian at times from a Rangers point of view, as that split towards Roof, who tries to knock it forward but breaks to Marcus Fraser. He goes back to Hemming and clears with the left foot, long ball up to halfway. Lasagna wins the header. There's nobody behind him though, apart from John Suter, who picks up and rolls it to Tavernier.
There's no point in trying to flick it on. You've got to just get your body in and try and bring it down somehow, or get it into one of the midfielders that are following you. Flicking the ball on when the small forward doesn't really work.
Tavernier back to Goldson and then back to Butland. Rangers with a 1-0 lead. 6 minutes just about into the second half. It's out to Suter, the left angle of his own box, and taking his time over it and squaring it to Goldson. He steps onto it and then rolls it to his left for Suter again, and then to Barisic. They're down to 10 men, but this is a St Mirren team that knows how to defend. And they are the only team in the Premiership that have scored in each of their first 7 matches coming into this one. So they're a threat up the other end as well. How much of a threat can they be though?
I'd be looking to get another striker on if I was Stephen Davis.
Yeah, it'll happen, but I think it's just biding his time.
Yeah, I'm not talking about removing one though, Steve. I'm talking about getting 2 up top.
Yeah, that's what.
Because I mean, you've got 3 central midfielders there, and just now Lundstrom's organising things. He's trying to dictate. Raskin has already had 1 opportunity. Fuentes hasn't shown really too much. If they get 2 up there, it's going to occupy the 3 centre-backs. That's going to drag the wing-backs in. It's going to free up Barisic and Tavernier. You don't need to hold the ball at the back of the pitch. You need more penetration and more threat through the centre-forward positions.
Free kick, St Mirren, incidentally. Tanzer was brought down, and this is almost level with the edge of the D of the Rangers box out on this left-hand side. A chance for McMenamin to put the Rangers defence under pressure here. 7 into the second half. Left-footed free kick, bent towards the back end of it for Taylor. He doesn't get much onto it. Rangers get it half away. Picked up wide on the right-hand side by Tanzer. He flights it back in. Not clear by Rangers. Now O'Hara finds McMenamin, left-hand side of the box. O'Hara's still out on this near side if he wants him. Looking to win a corner, which he does. Good work by Connor McMenamin. And St Mirren suddenly with a little bit of pressure in the attacking third.
You just need to get on the end of one of these crosses. They're putting decent balls into decent areas, but so far Rangers have defended the situations well.
Mark O'Hara's at the edge of the penalty area. He's got a good goal-scoring record against Rangers. 6 times he's netted against them. A couple for St Mirren, 4 for Dundee. As the corner comes in, headed away by Roof at the back post. Stepping onto it is Bacchus has a go. It's blocked there by Barisic. They're claiming handball, but it's clearly come off his foot first, even if it's come rolling up onto his arm. It wouldn't be an offence, as Fraser goes back to Hemming at the edge of his box. A bit more positive from St Mirren though. And this isn't a Rangers team, it's in a good place. If they can sow the seed of doubt, then there's every chance they could get into their heads. Tavernier is brought down by Olasanya. Lundstrom wins a throw-in off Tanzer on this near side. It's 10-man St Mirren 0, Rangers 1 still here at Paisley as it was at half-time. Tavernier's asking why he didn't get the free kick.
Yeah, it should have been a free kick, but just before that I think there was a handball from John Lundstrom. Mark O'Hara protesting. Mick Walsh waved it away. Conversation going on now between the 3 of them.
Alec Ray down there, of course, with that short and unsuccessful spell in charge of St Mirren, the Rangers assistant down there, having a word with the fourth official, Grant Irvin. And Cifuentes picks up on this near side, moving up towards halfway. Rolls it to Tavernier on the right side. McCausland makes a run ahead of him, but he elects to pass it back to Cifuentes, to Lundstrom, and now Raskan. Raskan then chops back onto his right side and rolls it out to Tavernier, level with the edge of the D of the St Mirren box. Tavernier back to Cifuentes, to the edge of the area from McCausland, pushes it back first time to Lundstrom, out left to Barisic. Support from SMiSA. SMiSA level with the 18, back to Barisic, midway inside the St Mirren half. St Mirren forcing Rangers back though. It's well defended again. A tirelessly working team, generally speaking. St Mirren, they've got those extra yards to make up today, given they're down to 10. McCausland, first time flick there to Cifuentes, right hand side of the box, bundling his way through. He's inside the area and winning the corner off Bacchus.
Well, listen, I know he's bundled his way through. A little flick from Ross McCausland there on the outside of the boot, but Roof is furious. He's making run after run and getting no service through the centre of the goals. Cifuentes just put it in there, Stevie, no?
Yeah.
Doesn't need the extra touch, sure.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't, you're right.
Rangers corner, Barisic to take. In swinger with the left foot on this near side. He's actually taking it short again to McCausland. Back to Barisic. A little bit short with the pass, McCausland. It's forced Barisic to charge back towards the halfway line. And passing it back left to the circle for Raskan. And out to Cifuentes wide on the left. Taking on McMenamin, low ball in, comes off Fraser. Breaks outside the box for McCausland. Now Tavernier. McCausland still an option. Tavernier though charging into the area away from Kilties. Ball across is cut out. Against St Mirren with good numbers back. And then Alasanya wins the throw in off McCausland, who slides in. Rangers leading 1-0. We played almost 56.
It's difficult to see Rangers convincing you that they're going to score from open play, Neil.
No, that's what I mean. I just think that at times it looks too predictable. They're going square, they go across the face, they go out the other side, they look to deliver a cross in. They're never ever shifting St Mirren short, bringing centre-backs in short, and then another player going beyond. It's the old short long stuff. It used to be like when you played with two strikers. One would come short, one would spin, and it gave defenders an absolute nightmare to deal with. You can still manipulate that with central midfielders, but this is what I mean. So there's no
They're just not a good
unpredictable nature about how they play.
Suter has it inside the centre circle, just stepping forward, squaring it to Lundstrom. Out to Tavernier on this near side. In the St Mirren half, back to Lundstrom, forward towards Cifuentes. Really loose ball, Kilties onto it, getting there ahead of Cifuentes, and then being brought down by Cifuentes. St Mirren fans want him booked. Doesn't look like that's forthcoming, but it is a St Mirren free kick right to the centre circle in their own half, which is taken quickly down the right. McMenamin taking on SMiSA. Barisic out there too. McMenamin checks his run, turns round, gets the cross in as well. In it comes, and Tavernier with a panicky clearance up into the air. Still alive, headed away by Goldson. And McCausland helps it away. McMenamin with the cushion header back to Fraser. And then to Alexander Gogic, right hand side of the centre circle. Long ball for Olasanya. And then McMenamin. It's been enough in the St Mirren performance since half-time to suggest that this game's not finished for them yet. As the cross ball comes in, that's a poor one though, and it's right through to Jack Butland, right-hand side of his box. He comes to claim, and it stays St Mirren 0, Rangers 1. But you can hear from the St Mirren supporters around about us that it's been pretty decent from them since the interval, and Cyril Dessers is going to be on for Rangers in just a moment. Stephen Robinson, he always looks such a pained figure down there.
Very animated.
Roof giving chase. Gogic will see it behind for the goal kick though.
Good defending again from Gogic. Really good.
He has. He's been different class, hasn't he?
Yeah, he really has. Brilliant. And Roof again just so frustrated up there on his own. He's hardly getting involved in the game, not getting enough touches. The deliveries into him aren't great. It's just a hard watch.
Rangers losing 3 of their first 7. That's their worst start to a season in the top flight since the mid-80s, before they began their 9 in a row. The long ball finds Olasanya from Hemming, but he can't control. It bounces off him, and Rangers have it again with Goldson. He slips it to Barisic. over on that left-hand side. St Mirren's unbeaten start to the league season is under duress here at home to Rangers. Looking to draw level with them on points. Butland short to Goldson. Not been convincing today, though, Rangers. Goldson's long ball for SMiSA. He's done well to kill it on the chest, left-hand side of the box. McMenamin has to be careful. SMiSA down to the bylines, forced outside the box, out wide on the left. Short ball to Barisic. Now SMiSA rolls it back to Lundstrom. Lundstrom then goes to Goldson. I saw Sam Lammers making his way back to the dugout as well. Tavernier picks up on the right. He's found Cifuentes, who rolls it low out to McCausland, wide in the right level with the penalty spot. The cross comes in, and the diving header from Tavernier at the right angle of the 6-yard area goes wide of the right-hand post, and it stays St Mirren 0, Rangers 1 as we approach the hour mark.
Probably Rangers' best attack of the half that time, finding McCausland, put a decent ball into a decent area. Tavernier, it was a difficult header.
We'll stop you there, Tom, and let's get news of the subs with Kerdy Nidsan.
Yeah, Kamar Roof's cut a frustrated figure, and he's just applauding the Rangers fans behind the goal there because he's coming off. Cyril Dessers coming on.
Well, he had that knock again recently, Kamar Roof. It looked as though he was going to be out for another lengthy spell. He came back, though, sooner than expected last weekend, but he's not been in the game at all, Neil, today, has he?
No, he's had zero service. Tomo said he's been so frustrated at times, looks angry. I really thought that this would have been an opportunity just to change the shape a little bit and go with two strikers, give St Mirren a real trouble. And a good opportunity for to get Dessers on and give him a partner up top as well, but Stevens decided no, just keep it the one centre forward right now.
Dessers' first involvement on the halfway line, back to Lundstrom. Now Rascanley going to slip it through to the pacey SMiSA, but there's too much weight in the pass, and it comes right through to Hemming again. The end product from open play hasn't been good enough from a Rangers point of view. St Mirren still just that one goal behind. They've shown plenty resilience this season. And think back to the opening day of the campaign when they had a 2-0 lead at Easter Road. That was wiped out, yet they still had the wherewithal to win the game. As Tavernier stabs it out to McCausland on the right, skipping in field. Cifuentes helps him out, back to him, then square to Lundstrom, who squares it to Barisic. Rangers having their best spell of the second half. Barisic's cross is blocked, they're claimed by a hand. Not sure what McMenamin would have been able to do about it. He was at such close quarters. Here's Cifuentes out to McCausland, level with the 18, and back to Lundstrom. Lundstrom forward to Tavernier. Tavernier side foot back to Cifuentes. He rolls it with the right out to the left. Barisic takes a touch, swings the ball in, headed away by Tanzer. Rangers keeping St Mirren pinned back for the first time since the interval really here. And it's Lundstrom who rolls it right to left of the circle for Suter. Can Rangers profit from this period of dominance? Barisic forward down the left-hand side for SMiSA, who gives away the foul. Bringing down Marcus Fraser, just barged him to the deck, and that's going to be a free kick for the former Celtic Academy graduate Marcus Fraser. Seems like a heck of a long time ago he was there, playing European matches 12 years ago, and making an appearance in the Europa League.
Looks like St Mirren are looking at a couple of changes, Liam. I see Mandron and Alex Grieve down there. This is what I said at half-time. I thought they would do it, stay in the game for a long period of time and then have a go.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing, okay, they're not offering much of a threat, St Mirren, really. There's a little spell in the second half there, but it doesn't look like a 10 against 11 game. It's not wave after wave of Rangers attack here.
Absolutely not.
And that must give St Mirren belief. A little corner or a free kick or something they could cause the Rangers defence problems with.
You're thinking that, Liam. We're thinking that. You better believe that Rangers coaching staff are thinking that as well. They would like to be a lot more comfortable standing down there.
Throwing St Mirren, Gogic bowling it back to Taylor. 63 played. Here is Tanzer. He rolls it to the edge of the centre circle for Bacchus, under pressure from Lundstrom. He rolls it back there to Gogic, calmly back to Bacchus. That's brilliant from Gogic. Out to the right-hand side for Kilty, up against Rascan, up the line, straight to Barisic though. Now Rascan picks up. He just gets himself away from Bacchus and finds Cifuentes, who'll turn it out to this right-hand side for Tavernier. McCausland, Dessers, SMiSA, Barisic all ahead of him. Back to Cifuentes, out to the right for Tavernier. Back against O'Hara. Back to Goldson, who goes back into his own half. And he finds John Souther. The team news will be breaking for Pittodrie soon. bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. You'll be right across that. 2:15. And then the 3 o'clock kickoff to come. Aberdeen against St Johnstone at Pittodrie. Let's hope it's better than that fixture normally is. The conditions aren't going to lend to it. Torrential rain in the northeast continues today. Here it's much more pleasant. Grey skies above, but not a drop of rain's fallen since kick-off. As Tavernier finds Lundstrom. This has been probably Rangers' best period of sustained possession in the game here, the last 5 minutes or so, as Barisic comes down the far side, and looks like another foul from Barisic this time. St Mirren have a free kick over on the far side touchline. Conor McMenamin was bundled to the ground. He thought in his mind he was getting the free kick in any case, because he stood up and picked the ball up anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you're right to point out that Rangers have had a lot of the ball. You'd expect that with 10 men, but they've done absolutely nothing with it. Nothing. No penetration whatsoever.
1-0 they lead though. St Mirren's next couple of games, Ross County and St Johnstone, before they go to Celtic Park at the start of next month. Rangers, their next few are massive games. They've got the Edinburgh clubs either side of Sparta Prague in their next Europa League game. At home to Hibernian and also home to Hearts. They've got to travel to the Czech Republic. As Goldson picks up, that's 2 huge home games for Rangers, no matter what happens today. Here Raskan back to Souther. He finds Goldson. The St Mirren changes are coming. There might even be 3 of them.
Yeah, Boyd Munce as well.
There's Lundstrom forward to Tavernier. Was he on or off? He's behind the defender, down towards the byline, fires it across, comes off a St Mirren defender sliding in. McMenamin and behind for the corner.
Great ball through. I looked across the line like you did, and I wondered where Gogic played him on, but Tavernier, great run and a really dangerous cross flashed across the face of the St Mirren goal. Really good defending, back post you have to say as well. But a penetrating pass finally in behind the St Mirren defence.
Triple St Mirren change coming. Stephen Robinson will be desperate for it to still be 1-0 when they come on. But Rangers have a corner looking to make it 2. Swung in by Barisic. Cifuentes wins the header. Away by O'Hara. Only as far as Simau goes for goal. Doesn't get much purchase in the shot with the left foot, and it's clutched onto under his crossbar by Zach Hemming, and it stays 10-man St Mirren 0, Rangers 1, approaching the final quarter of it, and that is the moment for Stephen Robinson to make the changes quite clearly. Going into the final 22.5 of the 90, and those 3 that Stephen was mentioning will be on momentarily with Keelan Boyd-Muntz, Michael Mandron and Alex Grieve waiting to come on. We can find out from Kerradine who's coming off.
We think Kiltie, Olasanya and Bacchus off. Definitely Boyd-Muntz, Grieve and Mandron coming on, and the changes are coming right now.
Yeah, Kiltie's the first one. He'll be replaced by Grieve, who's been a useful player in the St Mirren squad this season. Got that winner at Easter Road in that opening game I mentioned earlier.
He often makes an impact coming off the bench.
Mandron, who's been good as well, he's on for Olasanya. I think there were eyebrows raised. Mikel Mandron didn't exactly set the header on fire in Motherwell last season, but he's another who's made an impact this campaign. Easy to do so in this St Mirren team right now. And Olasanya comes off, and Boyd-Muntz is waiting on the touchline. Yeah, on he comes now, and Kerrigan spot on with the changes that have been made. Bacchus is the other Saints player to be withdrawn. So a little reset in the St Mirren team for the final quarter. 1-0 down, but with a long throw opportunity here for Alex Gogic, level with the Rangers penalty spot. Over on that right hand side, bowls it into the box, headed away by Sima. It's going to come back to Gogic, rolls it back the way. On that right hand side, Fraser to Gogic. Gogic stepping away from Raskan. Long deep ball along the 18-yard line. It's going to break Tanzer's way, but he's having to retreat to get there. Little back heel's brilliant. In comes the cross ball with the left foot, and Butland clutches on in the 6-yard line. Almost an immediate impact from Boyd-Muntz there, who's just on with the cross.
Yeah, the cross didn't have enough pace on it. It was really easy for Butland to come and collect in the end. It's a wee bit of energy from the St Mirren supporters, the triple change, and hoping their team can go and create an opportunity in these closing minutes.
The longer it goes, just one behind, Tom, and there's more than 20 minutes left in this game, plus stoppages, the louder that noise will get.
Yeah, well, I mean, throwing caution to the wind, they've got to go and then get themselves into the final third. Rangers don't look like scoring a goal at all, so they should be throwing caution to the wind.
Dessers, Taylor was out of position, but he's recovered well. St Mirren get it back. Down this near side, little dink forward. Grieve will give chase. Lundstrom read it well, though. He gets there first and knocks it back to his keeper. Important phase in the game for both sides.
You've got to love Steve Robinson. I mean, he's so active at his sidelines. He's never shuts up from coaching either, which is clearly why St Mirren are so well drilled. They never get a chance to switch off because he's always barking instruction out. Of course, you have to do that when you're down to 10 men to make sure that you're hard to break down. So far, so good, but he's a good watch.
He must do 15,000, 20,000 steps a game.
That's how
he's only got about, what is that, about a 6-yard area to work in.
That's how he needs his studs on, isn't it? He's moving that quick. He doesn't want to lose his footing.
Tavernier bowling it back the way to Butland. The Rangers keeper picks up and plays it short to Goldson. Pass low forward to Cifuentes. McCausland to Tavernier, first time chasing after it. Raskan in behind. SMiSA to the left-hand side if he can find him. Rolls it to SMiSA, who scores! That'll settle it! Abdallah SMiSA's 7th of the season. Raskan was in behind and he put it on a plate for the on-loan Brighton forward. Rangers top scorer in what's been a troubled season for them so far. Doubles their lead in Paisley. It is 10-man St Mirren 0, Rangers 2.
There you go. You've been asking about it all game. Just that run in behind, the flat passes across the face of St Mirren. Get the ball short, get it in behind, get somebody going beyond the main striker. Dessers comes short. Raskin broke the anchor right over the top. I actually thought he could have gone himself, but he just rolled in SMiSA. It was a lovely little side foot finish.
It was actually a good goal, and it was just comes off the back of St Mirren making those positive changes, going to the back four, and it's just didn't look quite as solid when the ball did come over the top. Yep. It's a great run from Raskin and a good pick out and a decent finish from SMiSA. I think there's a way back now for St Mirren.
No, it doesn't look likely. 2-0. Rangers lead and make them feel a bit better about things. The last thing Stephen Davis would have wanted was to go into the international break with another defeat. It is St Mirren who will surely now lose for the first time in the 23-24 Premiership season. SMiSA adding to that Tavernier penalty in the first half. A well-worked goal. As Stephen says, it came after that triple change by Stephen Robinson. I said just before he made it, you'll want to be just within that one goal before the subs were made. Well, just after they were made. Rangers double up. And Goldson will play it back to Souther. And you would expect now, Neil, in the final 18 minutes plus stoppages, you would expect Rangers to play with a bit more of a freedom.
Well, you would like to think so. Again, touched on it already with early in the match with John Lundstrom asking the boys to slow the tempo down and be controlled. It's not about control now, it's about going, and of course you've got to win the game, you've got to keep yourself concentrated and keep the back door shut, but just go and try and impress yourself in the game and kill it off.
Tavernier sliding in on the challenge here after he took a heavy touch. It's okay, St Mirren fans around about us didn't like it. Lundstrom gets there ahead of Grieve and goes back to his goalkeeper. Jack Butland fires it up to this near side, looking for Tavernier. One in the air though by Tanzer and McCausland. Rather than let it go out for the throw-in, he's put it straight to Mandron, but he gets away with it. Cifuentes picks up, then McCausland gives it straight to Grieve. He's back into his own half for Gogic. Under pressure from Dessers. Now Taylor out to Tanzer, he can't keep it in play. He's frustrated, Tanzer, as he throws the ball away. Rangers have a throw-in down on this near side.
The first time in the game the Rangers fans have been in voice.
I was just about to say that. They're obviously feeling comfortable finally in the game.
3 defeats in the first 7 league games, added to that Champions League playoff defeat to PSV. What cost Michael Beale the Rangers job, despite him having a 72% winning rate. which is right up there, albeit the caveat being the number of matches that each of those who have held the post as Rangers manager or of Rangers manager have had many lasting years. Michael Veal didn't even last a year, and it was the drop points here last season, the 1-1 draw, that ended it for Giovanni van Bronckhorst. Not even a year ago, Rangers on the search for a new boss again, as Tavernier picks up, rolls it along the halfway line to Lundstrom, and first time ball back to Goldson. There's that game here, the 1-1 draw. Rangers scored pretty late. It was Tavernier penalty again that day. Scored very late in that game. That was just before the World Cup shut down. Maybe a couple of weeks later, before Van Bronckhorst was kicked out. A long ball from Goldson was out to play for a throw into St Mirren over on that far side. But what Stephen Robinson will hope this doesn't do, Tomo, is upset the apple cart, because it's been a magnificent start to the Premiership season for them. Appearance in the League Cup quarters as well. You consider they started with defeat in Montrose in the first match of this campaign in the League Cup groups. To go on and string together not just the results but the performances as well that they have done in the infancy of this season has been spectacular. It hasn't been seen round these parts for decades and decades.
No, it won't disrupt this team. They're too well organised, too well drilled, and so hard to play against. And Rangers have found it difficult to play against them today for large spells with an extra man. So it won't. And you know, losing games to the old firm teams is the kind of norm when you're at a St Mirren player. It's going and winning the games, the next game and the next game after that against teams that believe they can beat. And I don't think this will have any impact on St Mirren moving forward.
See my first time ball straight to Fraser, who hoists it down the right hand side. Here's McMenamin. He's looked lively any time he's been in possession. He's turning away from Lundstrom, goes down, no free kick. Would have been in a good position as well, level with the Rangers penalty spot. No free kick, says Nick Walsh. Cifuentes took his eyes off that and has allowed Alex Grave to slide in and win it back. That's brilliant work rate there from Grave.
Yeah, his work rate's superb, always is, never stops.
Months back to Gogic. First time ball played forward by Fraser, gets it back from McMenamin. Marcus Fraser, but it's straight to Goldson, and Suter nods it back to his goalkeeper. Jack Butland looking for clean sheet number 7. This is his 16th game of the campaign. And now it's Lundstrom. Getting it from the keeper up against Mandron. Finds Dessers, now back to Lundstrom. He finds Suter. Level with the edge of the centre circle. To come at 3, Aberdeen against St Johnstone. Thursday, Spain against Scotland. Keep an eye on Cyprus, Norway that night as well. Scotland need just a point to qualify. Here come Rangers down the left. Barisic, Dessers is down, wanting a free kick. Barisic crosses in, too high for McCausland. St Mirren get it away, only as far as Dessers at the edge of the box, as it pinched off him by the impressive McMenamin, who then loses out to Raskan, who nicks it back for Rangers. And now it's with Suter, and it was Raskan who was at the heart of things as Rangers scored their second. Highlights of this game and the game at Pittodrie and Sports Scene tonight at 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. And if you missed that, it will be on the iPlayer afterwards, repeated later on BBC One, but there's also Goals Plus as well, if it's just the goals that you want. That's at the BBC iPlayer. There's always a link for that at that website, bbc.co.uk/Scotland. Throw in Rangers in an attacking position. McCausland on the right, finds Tavernier, volleys it across goal, and it goes behind on the reverse side for a goal kick to Saints with just over 12 minutes of the 90 to play. Rangers leading by 2-0.
Yeah, it's even with the extra forward on the pitch, have really struggled to create anything. Even going into this last 15-minute period, if they've had it at 1-0, they might have had a wee sniff, but at 2-0 it's not virtually impossible for them.
They need to score soon to make a fist of it. Grieve almost found Mandron, but he was always on the stretch, and it comes right through to Butland, who plays it short to Suter. John Suter back in the team today. Neil in for
comfortable.
Ben Davis.
Yeah, he's looked good, strong. I think John started the season very, very well, and he picked up a wee injury. In fact, he might have even been playing with one, carrying one, so taking a bit of time out of the team for Ben Davis, and I think he's looked good today again.
Someone knows about injuries, it's John Souttar. Rascan down the left, claims he was impeded by Fraser. The referee doesn't think so. McMenamin clears down the right. Mandron controlling, is back to goal over on that far side and winning the throw-in off Souttar. And just inside the Rangers half. And it's going to be Marcus Fraser to take. Another of these St Mirren defenders who's had such a fine campaign last season as well. Not too many changes to the starting 11 from most of the St Mirren starting 11s last season, as they finished in the top 6. Just fell away towards the end, denied them their first European football since winning the Scottish Cup in '87. Rascan goes back into his own, I think he was looking for Souttar. It's gone back into his own box. Souttar is to retreat back towards the byline to get there. And now it's with Lundstrom, short to Goldson, plays it to the left for Souttar, forward to Rascan, but Rangers comfortable here, very comfortable.
Cifuentes made a really good run there and behind. They need to start looking up more. They've got joy with Rascan going in there. St Mirren, they'll start to take more risk here and they'll start to switch off defensively. It's been a hard shift for them today.
Cardine, change for Saints.
Yeah, Nachmani, the Israeli summer signing for St Mirren, who's really quick. He's coming on for McMenamin for the last 10 minutes. Can St Mirren possibly salvage something in the last 10? Big task.
I've enjoyed watching Conor McMenamin today though, Tomo.
Yeah, he's had a good game. Every time I've seen him so far this season, he's impressed me. A willing runner, good delivery. Frustrating day for him though. Had to put in a real shift, as all the St Mirren players have.
Tavernier with the throw down the near side, cut out by Taylor, breaks back onto halfway for Lundstrom. So Nachmani on, he's on loan from Maccabi Haifa in Israel. Scored a couple in his debut against Arbroath in that League Cup group. And just won the one since then. Rascan over on the far side, rolls it back to Souttar. Rangers leading 2-0. We're into the final 9 minutes of 90 now. And it's with Lundstrom. Short ball to Cifuentes, then back to Lundstrom. And the left foot goes all the way back to Butland, who controls on his 6-yard line. He'd be desperate for a clean sheet today after what's been a week of turmoil at Ibrox. Beaten by Aberdeen, well beaten in the end. And then in Cyprus by Aris Limassol. And in between all that, a manager sacked again. As Taylor collects on this near side, out to Tanser. Tanser goes back to Taylor. Forward into the Rangers half for Boyd Muntz, then back to Taylor, to O'Hara. 50th appearance for the Paisley Saints today for their skipper. This comes forward to Mandron, left-hand side of the box, rolls it out to Tanser, left foot, first time ball into the box. No takers though in black and white stripes as O'Hara slides in on Sima. Free kick, although Nick Walsh is allowing Rangers an advantage with Abdallah Sima coming forward. He's managing to squeeze the ball towards Dessers. Taylor's there though. He finds Grieve and then back to Gogic. And out to the far side for Nachmani, he's just on, and then into the centre circle for Boyd Muntz. St Mirren's needs urgent. They are down to 10 men. They are 2-0 down to Rangers. And then that comes back to Gogic, who finds Taylor. That's for Taylor at walking pace. Forward towards ball. Grieve. Yeah, he's got a little bit of space here. His shot is sliced to the outside of the boot well wide. What an opportunity it was to potentially drive further forward towards the box. I thought it should have,
Liam. You know, it's a good wee bit of play between the two strikers. The pass in, the layoff. It opens up for him, and he just thinks, I'm going to hit this, but he's probably a good 25 yards out. He could have driven another 5 yards. The shot was wild.
Closing stages here in Paisley on Sports Sound, BBC Radio Scotland, on Extra FM, on digital, online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. With Aberdeen, St Johnstone to come. Just over an hour now till kick-off. The game at Pittodrie, sodden Pittodrie. As Butland picks up and rolls it out to the left-hand side for Souttar. Souttar with a big switch towards Tavernier, who controls well with Grieve near him. He finds Lundstrom. Lundstrom out to the left. Here's Barisic up towards halfway. Just over 6 left to the 90. Raskan for Lundstrom. Rangers know as long as they're in possession, St Mirren can't hurt them. As Lundstrom finds Tavernier. Tavernier out to McCausland on this near side. Infield to Tavernier, rolls to the edge of the box. Raskan on the left foot, his shot blocked by Gogic, who's been excellent again today. Ryan Strange's red card really did alter this match in Rangers' favour. As Suter comes forward, his pass still cut out by Gogic. Now O'Hara and Gogic, pressure from Raskan. Gogic now, good play up towards halfway, but his pass forward is cut out. He's annoyed with himself as he slaps the turf in frustration. Now it's Barisic out to Raskan over on that far side. Infield to Lundstrom. Now with Tavernier. Tavernier taking up towards the edge of the box. Out to McCausland on this near side. The right angle of the penalty area. Rolls it back to Lundstrom. Side football with the right to Raskan. Raskan forward looking for SMiSA, that left-hand side of the box. But again, Gogic is there, and again he sees it behind. Stays 2-0 Rangers against the 10 men.
It's not going to live long in the memory, this game, for me, Neil. I mean, I've watched a lot of games of football this season. This one has not been entertaining.
No, it isn't. From a Rangers point of view, I think it's job done for Stephen Davis. It's a good 3 points. Had Rangers thrown away more points on Celtic, there would have been an uproar amongst the fans. But I think that's the main thing for Rangers to come here and get a win. I think they could have put a lot more gloss on the performance, though. I think they could have really been better today, and this is an opportunity.
There's a chance for Dessers in behind. St Mirren stretch. Dessers in the chance, right foot, but he passes it straight there to Hemming, who barely had to dive to get onto. He could have thrown his cap on that one. Yeah. What a chance for Dessers, right in front of the Rangers supporters. That is the problem for him.
That's a man with zero confidence there.
No belief, is he? He doesn't think he's going to score.
One-on-one with the goalkeeper, just get a good connection with the ball, pick a spot. He kind of fluffs his shot so easily for Hemming in the end. And yeah, he's playing with the weight of the world on his shoulders, there's no doubt about that.
Well, that's a glorious opportunity when you're already 2-0 up, right in front of the supporters who've been quick to criticise you.
Yeah, that's a dream. He's right through, he's down the channel. He knows the defender's not getting home. Just make sure that you're out in front, take a nice touch out in front of you to set yourself and catch it sweet. I mean, he catches it with his ankle. It just doesn't
dragged it into the ground.
Yeah, he doesn't have any belief on his goal scoring ability right now. I actually feel a bit sorry for the boy because he's come under some heat. I really do, and he's clearly not a bad boy, and I think he's trying, but he's just got zero confidence.
I'm talking to a couple of the Rangers media guys. They say he's a great guy, Cyril Dessers.
He actually looks a good boy, aye.
Yeah. Rangers in possession with Lundstrom, just about on to the final 3 minutes of 90. 2-0 Rangers. SMiSA in the second half, adding to that Tavernier penalty, which was awarded after a lengthy VAR check. Strain sent off, Cifuentes rolls it forward, but it goes right through to Hemming, who holds on. And yeah, I mean, it hasn't been vintage Rangers by any stretch of the imagination. They're 2-0 up here, and had it not been for Zach Hemming in the first half making 2 excellent saves, particularly that one from Goldson's header, it would have been much more comfortable.
Yeah, but they were down to 10 at that stage as well, remember? I mean, I think the sending-offs had a massive impact on the game, without a shadow of a doubt, and I don't think it's been a good Rangers performance, but the important thing for them is to win and to try and build their confidence and rebuild the belief and the connection with the supporters.
Full team used to come for Pittodrie shortly, but it is 2 changes for Aberdeen. Barron and Hayes in for Clarkson and McKenzie. 1 change for St Johnstone. Matt Smith in for Dan Phillips. Full team used to come from Pittodrie shortly. Rangers are going to make a couple of changes shortly. I'll get to Cerdine in a moment. It's McCausland in possession for them. We tick on to 88 with Rangers leading 2-0. McCausland back to Suter. He stops and then passes it forward to Raskan, who finds Lundstrom right of the centre circle, and then out to McCausland on this near side. Down the right goes Tavernier. He's about level with the 6, and he wins the corner. He's claiming it came off the hand, but it would have been a free kick, which would have been as good as a corner down this near side. And a chance for Rangers to add a third. Let's get news of the changes. Cerdine.
Just waiting for the numbers to go up. Lammers and Rice definitely coming on. Abdallah SMiSA, the first to come off for Rangers. And SMiSA with his 7 goals. Well, it's interesting that he scored as many as some of the other guys like Lammers and Dessers and Danilo put together.
Yeah, Bailey Rice on, Neil, and Michael Beale was fulsome in his praise of him in the latter weeks of his tenure.
Yeah, this boy's got a big chance. I mean, physically imposing, 6'3" already, just turned 17 years of age, a beautiful left foot, range of passing. He'll play and see things from a deeper line midfield position, put him in around set pieces. He's got ability from there as well. I mean, he's got a big future ahead of him.
And there's the changes. On comes Lammers, on comes Rice. The first thing they will do is help attack this Rangers corner, which will be taken by Borna Barisic down in this near side. Final few seconds of the 90 minutes. Barisic towards the back posts, beaten Suter. O'Hara gets a little flick onto it as Goldson picks up over on the far side and rolls it back to Rice, and now it's Tavernier. Space to work in. Tavernier couldn't resist the shot, smashes for goal, blocked, and then on the rebound,
wow,
Tavernier again, 18 yards out, and he's thundering into the top right corner. It's a fabulous strike. His first one came straight back at him. It was more difficult. He hit it first time right in front of the Rangers supporters, who've had some respite here in Renfrewshire this afternoon. That's the cue for the St Mirren fans to start heading out of the stadium. It is 10-man Saints 0, Rangers 3, and the skipper leading from the front once again.
He's got some highlight reel, hasn't he? I mean that is right into the postage stamp.
Scary finish.
He under pressure, he's probably getting pulled a little bit as well, so it looks like he's going off balance. But you control the power he gets in that and rifle it into the top corner.
It's an outrageous strike. It really is. I mean, I've not particularly enjoyed the game, but that's worth the admission fee coming in. A top draw finish on the volley. I mean, it was as sweet as a nut.
3-0 Rangers, a crowd just under 7,000 inside St Mirren Park today. Watching that one went into injury time or stoppage time. 3 minutes were added.
What is that, about 105 goals or something? Liam, you might have run about that, 104, 105.
You always ask me about James Tavernier's stats.
I know, but I know you're just a stat monster. You've got it there.
How many did you say? 105?
I thought about 105.
He was on 105 coming into this.
Wow, so he's
up to 106. 107, yeah.
Unbelievable. But I mean, just scrape it back, take the penalties out. He scored some incredible goals.
Tom has got different stats on James Tavernier. His are different from mine, so maybe he's right. He's not, but maybe he is.
I want to hear this.
No,
he's a few goals out.
I had given him more than Liam.
Oh, just I gave us more time we were into the game as well.
Aye. That's it.
3-0 and Stephen Robinson, I mean, clearly it's not going to be a difficult one for him to deal with in many ways, because the Ryan Strain ordering off changed the course of things. It was a really even game up to the red card and the penalty award. So it's an easy one in many ways, 3-0 defeat, but it's an easy one for him to deal with, even though he's got 2 weeks to stew on it.
I can brush this one right under the carpet. He'll still break it down and see where St Mirren could have done better, particularly when they're still in the game, as you said, making the changes. I know he was discussing it with Gogic about the run that Raskin makes, who should be picking him up. Stevie, but he should switch off, because it's been a wonderful start to the season for him and his side. Get himself a little break, a little recharge of the batteries to go again, because they've got a really special season ahead of them if they continue to play like this.
Yeah, and the early signs are they could be challenging for third this season, Tomo.
Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves, Liam. It's been an absolutely spectacular start. I would settle for another top 6 finish. Would be good. A European spot would be absolutely magnificent.
Mr. Negative.
Well, when you're a St Mirren supporter, you learn not to get too excited.
It's all over here, and a match which Stephen Robinson will view philosophically, I would imagine, afterwards. Take a relatively calm look back at it. The game turned on the red card and it turned in Rangers' favour. It was pretty even up to that point when Ryan Strange was adjudged to have handled the ball, preventing the goal, when Lovelace put a wonderful ball in from the right hand side to the back post. It was initially given as a corner to Rangers, but Nick Walsh was told to come and have a look at it by the VAR. Stephen Kirkland, he duly did so and overturned his initial award of corner, changed it to penalty, and I think in a surprise move to most people inside the stadium, he flashed a red card at Ryan Strain, who's been magnificent for Saints this campaign. He'll be missing now for the next game. And he went up the tunnel, and Saints' hopes of taking something from this and maintaining their unbeaten start to the Premiership season went with it. Tavernier dispatched the spot kick into the bottom left corner. Hemming guessed right, couldn't get there. 1-0 Rangers at the break, and they scored a couple of goals in the latter stages of it. Just under 20 to play of the 90 when Abdallah Sima got onto a Rascan pass to fire home, and then James Tavernier with a Tavernier special right in front of the visiting supporters. It's a much warmer reception the Rangers players are getting than they were at this stage of the game or after the game at Ibrox last Saturday, and even in Cyprus during the week. Back-to-back defeats to Aberdeen and Aris Limassol. Michael Beale sacked in the midst of all that, but they've picked up 3 big points here. They did not want to be going into the second international break of the season double digits behind the champions after Celtic's latest victory yesterday, and this win has taken them above St Mirren into second place on goal difference, and St Mirren's unbeaten start to the campaign in the league is over. It finished here in Paisley. 10-man St Mirren 0, Rangers 3.
This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland.